Network. Jan, Martinsville with 6 starters back for this season. They run a spread offense that put up 35 points in their win last week. What makes this Mooresville offense so explosive, Jan?
I tell you, first of all, it's good to see you, John.
Good to see you,
I
too.
look forward to seeing you and my ISC teammates. It's great to be here. Love to be at Danville. And to answer your question, what makes this Mooresville team so explosive, one guy. Starts with one guy, and that's Mr. Patterson. He's something special. And we're going to talk a lot about him. And we've got 2 great quarterbacks in Payne and Patterson, but Patterson's unique. We'll talk more about him as this game goes on, and I'm going to give you clues why he's so good. But I'm going to save a little bit of it.
All right, and they're going to be going up against a Danville defense that gave up just 13 points a game last season. They held Franklin to 13 in their win last week. What makes this Danville defense so stout?
Well, I'll tell you, last year I had them a couple times, and they just get to the ball. They are so quick up front. Their linebackers are super quick. Now there's some new guys that are on this year's team, but they have a tradition. They have a culture here, and it really starts with this defensive squad. Look for them to be really versatile tonight because you're going to have to be against Mooresville.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Endeavor Communications. Become unstoppable with frustration-free internet, phone, and managed IT solutions. Also by Hendricks Regional Health. Joint pain? Schedule a sports medicine appointment at hendricks.org/ortho. And by Defining Looks Wig, Hair, and Nail Salon. Be your own kind of beautiful at defininglooks.com. We're just moments away from kickoff. We'll have the starting lineups and kickoff for you when we come back in just a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Sports medicine at Hendricks is all about providing level of care that's unmatched.
We've made our team deeper with surgical specialties.
We have the best physical therapy staff in the state.
We work very closely with the orthopedic specialists, and it really makes the treatment plan more seamless.
In an environment that's small enough to meet your needs, but also large enough to have the tools to take great care of you.
This is Hendricks.
Find care at hendricks.org/ortho.
Defining Looks is a full-service wig and hair salon. We offer shampoo, cut, color, and styling for wigs and hair. Whether your situation is medical or cosmetic, our goal is to help you every step of the way in this emotional process. Let Defining Looks help you create your signature look. Schedule a consultation at defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, located on Sagamore Parkway North, next to Home Depot.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
And before we kick things off, let's get to our keys to the game, Jan.
John, I'll tell you, we're going to see a lot of offense, and most of it, or a significant amount of it, will be passing. And these teams, once they get in a rhythm, both are very effective on the passing game. Secondary play will be primo tonight. Both these secondaries are facing 2 of the better quarterbacks in the state, and they're very difficult to get to rushing. So the secondary is going to have a lot of pressure on them. And you know, the big guy here used to play offensive, defensive line. I always include the linemen in keys to the game. I always said if I got to broadcast, line guys are going to get a little publicity. So line are the key to every single game, front, on the offensive line and the defensive line. They're the guys that do the blocking for the passers, and they make the difference on the defensive line. And I think both these ball clubs, John, have 2 really good offensive and defensive lines.
Yes, they do. And Danville won the toss. They chose to defer, so Mooresville will get the ball to begin the game. Your keys to the game brought to you by Sozo U Natural Health. Sozo U provides natural health consultations, products, and services to their clients. It is their mission to equip their clients with natural health options to help them achieve their health goals. Located in Crawfordsville. Like them on Facebook or find more information at sozou.com.
I find it interesting, quite honestly, at Danville, they elected to defer. Most teams do. I'm one of those guys not so sure about that because especially when you have high-powered offenses, I want the ball. I want to just use the clock. I want to get the early score. That's me. That's, the coaches make a whole lot more money than I do, and they're a lot smarter than I am. But in a game like that, I just find that very, very interesting. That's how much confidence Danville has in their defense.
Yep. Mooresville, the team in white on your screen. Danville in the maroon color. So we'll see the Mooresville starters on offense first. Their offensive line made up of Bryston Lee, Damian Albrecht, Kellen Copeland, Brantley Butcher, and Chase Price. Running backs will be Hogan Denny and Gideon Brimage. Wide receivers, Logan Jackson, Wesley Reeves, and John Clampett. And the quarterback, as Jan mentioned, is Nick Patterson. Danville on defense made up of Trey Morrell, Devin Keith, and Evan Lawrence on the defensive line. Linebackers are Caleb McRoberts, Ethan Lathery, Darren Sharp, and Tyler Doston. Out linebackers, the men in the secondary are Ethan Walls, Wyatt Gentry, Brayton McMahon, and Andrew Papa.
Mooresville's got some speed in that backfield. Their special teams can make some things happen here early, John. Take it away.
All right, and here is the opening kickoff, and it's a short one. Return of about 17 yards out to the 37-yard line by Ethan Huffman.
What is that?
We had some fireworks before kickoff.
I think it's a tradition here. I think it's baking powder. So once the baking powder clears, we can see the field again. I love it. Students having a lot of fun here. I'll tell you, this is one of the best places for sports, whether it's football or basketball. I love coming here.
And there's Nick Patterson, the quarterback for Mooresville. Takes the snap and slings it left. Running out to the outside with it is Gideon Brimage across the 40 to the 48-yard line. Looks like they give him enough for a first down. Gain of 10 near midfield.
And, John, you're going to see this play over and over. This is their bread and butter. Now I'm going to answer your question you asked me early on. Why is he so good? Watch how quick he gets rid of the ball. Just take a look at him here. Let's see if he passes again. Boom. He doesn't even take a two-step drop, John. He gets rid of it that quick.
And that's Hogan Denny making the reception out across the 50 to the 47-yard line. That'll bring up second down and 5. Good tackle there made by Danville's Ethan Walls.
See, boom. When you pass that quick as a lineman, you really have no shot at getting him.
And right away, Mooresville with a quick snap. They try to get Danville napping on defense and a whistle. See what the ruling is here. False start on Mooresville. So they did not get everybody set. Back them up.
Yeah, they were pretty clean last week against Lebanon. Had very few penalties, which is somewhat odd in the very first game. They were as clean as you could be last week.
They won that game 35-7. Danville 20-13 winners over Franklin, and Franklin a 5A school.
Yeah.
So Danville beat a team that's 2 classes above them.
Big win. You'll always want to start off with a nice win, especially if it's a bigger school.
Patterson with time, has a man open across the middle, and he could not hang on. Right idea, but the big fella down the middle, Logan Jackson, the senior wide receiver, just could not hang on. Brings up 3rd and 10.
Well, you can't ask for a better pass. Look where he puts this one. In stride, in the hands. Receiving coach will tell you, listen, if it touches your hands, you better catch that one. And nobody knows that better than Logan Jackson. And Mooresville, John, is one of these ball clubs who literally throws to run. Most teams run to throw. They pass to run.
Patterson this time, another quick throw. This is Brimage out in the flat, scampers. He's got enough for the first down as he's decked out of the bounds into the Mooresville sideline. So on 3rd and 10, they needed a conversion. They pick it up and move the change, putting it at the Danville 41.
And now you're getting to see why the secondary was in our keys to the game. Mooresville stretches the field. They make you play a big field as a defense.
Brian Wiest was the one who got over there at the last possible moment. Patterson flushed out of the pocket, tries to run, down he goes. He was able to get a yard out of that to the 40, but it's 2nd and 9. Tackle there made by Garrett Hackelman, and that makes it 2nd and long for Mooresville.
Well, one thing that Danville does a really good job at, and they'll have to do tonight, is gang tackle.
Patterson fakes the handoff and keeps, able to get some positive yardage to the 34, gain of 6, and that makes it 3rd down and about 3.
You know, last week against Lebanon, John, he didn't run a lot, didn't really have to, but he is a dual threat. And while that looked effortlessly, that was 6 yards. He just basically leaned forward and got 6.
Trevor Stutz with the tackle. 3rd and short. This time he gives to Brimage. Brimage barreling forward, and how about that, Jan? Back-to-back key 3rd down conversions where Brimage plays a big role to the 28, gain of 6, move the chains.
Well, and that's one thing they do such a great job of is getting 3rd down conversions, not worrying about 4th down, but they're always in good field position, 3rd, 4th, and short.
Snap a bit high, but Patterson able to hold on to it and keep it, and runs into a crowd of jerseys.
And already we're seeing Mooresville offense really starting to use a little clock here, grinding it away, really doing a good job of getting into that offensive rhythm that we talked about.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Patterson back to work quickly like he loves to do. And he spreads it out. Danville jumping around a lot on defense here. Swings it out to Brimage again. Brimage trying to turn the corner, cannot do it. That brings up 3rd down and short. Good job by Danville's Brian Weiss to get over there.
Now let me tell you something. If you're playing linebacker tonight, you're going to cover a lot of territory. You're going to put in miles. You're seeing east to west how far these linebackers have to cover, not to mention north and south.
8:48 left in the first quarter. Opening drive of the game. This is the 10th play of the drive. Patterson throws across the middle, has a man wide open, touchdown, Mooresville Pioneers, Logan Jackson. Remember, he dropped the ball earlier on this drive. This time he catches the perfectly thrown ball by Patterson and scores.
John, you see how smooth that offense is? They just make it look easy. And this is the same pattern, the crossing route up the middle. And, ooh, Mr. Fishaw, I didn't see that. Well, I hope he's all right. He got taken out pretty good there. But he just makes it look so easy. And the thing he does is he floods the field. He's got 3 and 4 receivers, so you as a defense, you have to cover a lot of people and a lot of ground.
22-yard touchdown pass from Patterson to Jackson. Here is Brian Hauk for the extra point attempt. The holder is Hogan Denny. Snap good, hold good, kick on the way, and he got it. That is a 10-play scoring drive for Mooresville that goes 63 yards. It takes over 3 minutes off the clock.
Well, they just made it look easy too. They are that good offensively. They don't waste any time. They spread the field, and key front line. He never gets touched. At least up till now, I've seen him a whole game, and now just early they're not going to lay a hand on him, and that's not necessarily the defense's fault. It's just he literally 1,000, boom. It's gone. As a defensive lineman, you need almost 2 seconds to get to a quarterback.
And now that the Danville starters are going to get the ball on offense, let's run those through for you. The offensive linemen are Marshall Clark, Parker McIntyre, Craig, Caleb Caudill, Ryan Smith, and Ethan Duke. The running backs, Andrew Papa, Brayton McMahon. The wide receivers, B.J. Weist and Braxton Fullwider. And Cale Payne is your quarterback. On defense, the Mooresville starters will be made up of Max Fischel, Devin Davis, Luke Bollock, and Gavin Toole on the defensive line. The linebackers are Branson Blair, Brady Johnson, Aiden Holtzclaw, and Hogan Denny. And the men in the secondary are Logan Jackson, Brad Hess, and Julian Thompson. Head coach for Danville is Jamie Comer. He's in his 2nd season with the program, a 12-1 overall record. And the Mooresville head coach is Mike Gillen in his 43rd year coaching overall, 342 wins, 133 losses, 37-16 in his 5 years at Mooresville. What a job he has done in his coaching career.
John, could you imagine coaching 43 years?
I cannot. Can you?
No. Hey, that's you think about him and Bud Wright and Sheridan, 56 years. That's unbelievable.
Kenny Curry is the kickoff specialist for Mooresville, and this was a short one. Bobbled, fielded, and then bobbled again outside the 20. And the man who came up to field it, don't think he expected it to be that short, was Brayton McMahon, and just did the wise thing to fall on it. So 1st and 10 for Danville from their own 22.
And we get to see Mr. Payne. I'll tell you, he's one of the smoothest quarterbacks that I seen last year, 3-year starter. And if you want a guy that can produce, he's your guy. So this is really going to be interesting, and we're going to see the differences on how each of these quarterbacks kind of operate. There's a lot of similarities, but there's some differences. But I like his game a lot.
Danville with 6 starters back this season, both sides of the ball. Mooresville with 6 as well. Early handoff from Payne. Gives that one to Andrew Papa. Papa tries to scamper left and is cut down at the 25. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7.
Now Mooresville will use what they call a 4-2. They'll go with 4 down linemen. And all these defenses are very similar. Everybody has a different numbering scheme for it, but for the most part, you've got to have quick guys up front, and you've got to have guys in the middle that can move, and the secondary has got speed. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about defensively.
Damian Albrecht with the tackle for Mooresville. Payne sends a man in motion. That's Papa, pitches it to him. Papa to the 30, breaks loose. He's at the 40, and Papa down the sideline gets shoved out of bounds at the last possible moment by Logan Jackson. And that brings the Danville crowd to its feet.
And rightfully so. And I really think that Danville come into this game with a mission that they have to run the ball a little better. They only ran for 103 yards last year. Got some key blocks. Look at 3, 4, 5 great blocks around the edge here. And then he shows some great speed.
53 yards on that run for Andrew Papa. 1st and 10 for Danville from the Mooresville 32-yard line. Receivers going wide this time. Braxton Fullwider, who caught what was ultimately the game-winning score against Franklin last week. He's out there. Give it to Papa again. And Papa got to the 30, moving forward a little bit more. Not much more than that. Gain of 3. 2nd down and 7. Coming over for Mooresville to make the tackle, Max Fischel, senior defensive lineman.
And I realize this is kind of like water over the dam right now, but that's exactly why I really feel like Danville might take the ball first, is try to get a drive going, exactly what they're doing now before Mooresville ever has a chance to touch the ball. But nevertheless, we are where we are now, and they're moving the ball, and I think that's exactly what they want to do, is get this running game established and then look out. About the time you get those linebackers sneaking up on that run, that's where Payne's really dangerous.
Payne with a delayed handoff to Papa this time, who tries to turn the corner and cannot. First man over there for Mooresville to greet him was Aaron McClure. He got to about the 28, so just a gain of 1, and it's 3rd down and about 6. We're just outside the midway point of the first quarter.
Well, and right now Danville's really picking on their left side, and that's Mooresville's right side. Perhaps they have found something in the film or whatever that they think they can really expose on their being Danville's left side.
Payne to Papa again on 3rd and 6, and Papa goes up the middle this time and ends up picking up a 1st down to the 18 for a gain of 8 and a Danville first.
Yeah, and I don't know if you all seen this at home or not, and he needs a little break right now. You kind of just missed it there. The handoff wasn't real pure, but he actually was able to get it, tuck it in before he took a hit. You know, another thing we got to talk about here, John, is it's hot. It's hot out here, and the humidity's even worse. So conditioning and perhaps depth might be a big factor tonight. We'll wait and see.
It was a factor in really all the games last week across the state of Indiana. Game time temperature at kickoff was 90 degrees.
Yeah. Except Lucas, where I was at, it was air conditioned.
You lucky dog, you. There's a throw out into the flat left. It's incomplete to Jimmy Greenfield. Could not quite hang on. Brings up 2nd down and 10. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Endeavor Communications. They offer a variety of internet speeds that fits your family or business needs. Surf the internet faster than ever before with internet speeds up to a gig. Contact them at weendeavor.com for more information.
Papa already having more yards rushing in this game than he did all of last game.
And he had that 53-yarder on that one play where it's 2nd down and 10 for Danville, and Cale Payne looking over at the sideline for what to do.
If you're going to start with a team, boy, to have a veteran quarterback, that's where you want to start.
Payne going to the end zone and overshot his man just a little bit. Looking out there for Braxton Fullwider. Can't blame him after what Fullwider was able to do last week. And it's 3rd down and 10.
Now, Logan Jackson is the defender here. He never seen the ball. If this ball is close, it has a shot because Jackson never, ever seen the ball. As a defensive secondary player, you've got to know where the player is, the receiver, and the ball. He never seen the ball.
This is the 7th play of the drive for Danville, a drive for them that started back on their own 22. And they're facing a key 3rd and 10. Pitch left to Papa. Lost it out of bounds. And I don't know how they're going to rule this. Are they going to say he completed the pitch? Yes, and that he dropped it. So they're going to give him forward progress, I think, to about the 18. So it's 4th and 9.
Well, this is a couple times now that either the handoff or the pitch has not quite made its destiny. They got to get that cleaned up a little bit. Both times they were able to escape without any turnover. You're down in the red zone. This is not the time or the place against a really good team to not make those secure handoffs or pitches.
Lucas Bullock over there on the tackle for Mooresville. And it's a big 4th and 9. Payne in trouble, trying to take off and run. Breaks loose. He's inside the 10 and somehow got a 1st down to the 8-yard line. And that is enough for a first. They needed 9, and on that scamper by Payne, they got 10.
And this is what makes Payne so special. He is a very smart quarterback. He reads the blitz. Secondary for Mooresville really had everybody covered, so he took his chance and got great yardage versus trying to make a throw that was not there. That is what makes Payne so special.
It's 1st and goal now. Bradley Hess was the man who saved a touchdown for Mooresville.
It's a really, really solid drive by Danville.
Had a feeling we'd see 2 good performances from the quarterbacks, and they have not disappointed early. Papa going in motion. Handoff this time to Darren Sharp, the junior running back, 5'10", 185 pounds. Ahead to the 6 for a gain of 2, 2nd and goal.
Danville really tries to get you to respect that dive. Dive left, dive right. They'll go off the edge and get the linebackers and everybody to kind of close. Then next thing you know, they'll try to get something outside. Let's see, as a defender, you've got to be aware of everything here. Play action, because Payne is very good at play action.
Papa's lining up on the end of the line to the left. Now he comes in motion. Handoff. No pitch. He pitches it to Papa. Papa with 1 man to beat, does not beat him. He got hit at the 1-yard line, gaining 5, 3rd and goal from the 1. The man for Mooresville coming up big, Ashton Holtzclaw, the senior linebacker.
Yeah, and Holtzclaw makes the play of the game, at least for Mooresville right now. That is a very clean, solid, touchdown-saving tackle.
3rd and goal. This time he tries to sneak it. Looks like he might be in, waiting for the ruling. There it is. Touchdown, Danville, and they are an extra point away from tying this.
Well, give Mr. Payne so much credit for this whole drive. He really sold that action, that fake in the middle and then the pitch. Really got the linebackers for Mooresville to bite on that fake and really got great yardage at it. And then from there, it's just power in for the 1. Really, really solid drive by Danville.
Danville's got to get 1 more guy out there. They only have 10 players. Extra point ready to be applied by Caleb Harvey, 5'9", 140-pound junior. And before he does, a whistle and a timeout called by Danville. Today's broadcast brought to you in part by Hendricks Regional Health. Whether it is a preventive health checkup, a needed procedure, a screening, or lab work, you can always count on Hendricks Regional Health for safe, exceptional care. Find that care at thisishendricks.org. Also, I don't want to overstate the importance of an extra point early in the game, Jan, but you really don't want to come up short on this one, especially after that drive you just had. And
wow,
how many times have you and I called games where we've seen a missed extra point possibly be the difference?
Well, and especially in a game like this. This is not a game that you can leave, as I always say, points on the field. Hopefully this doesn't come back to haunt Danville. Still way early for sure, but that's tough. Got to hit those now.
We'll see. An early timeout called by Coach Comer. So they have 2 remaining. I think they might have just been a little bit unsure of things because they were trying to get that 11th player on the field. And now that they've got everybody set up. Boy, look at that excellent shot there by our camera crew. Beautiful skyline tonight in Danville. Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is through. And we are knotted up at 7 with 4:08 to play in the first quarter. Mooresville gets the ball when we come back on the ISC Sports Network.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
4:08 to play in the second quarter. We are tied at 7. Both teams have scored on their opening drive. Along with Jan Bozer, I'm John Herrick. Okay, Jan, Mooresville about to get the ball back on offense. What do you think Danville can do defensively here to try to make a stop this time?
Well, that's a great question because it's a very difficult answer because Mooresville makes it so difficult because how they spread the field. In football, you can't take away everything. So you take your chances on taking away what you think you can take away. I think Danville, for the most part, understands taking away the pass is going to be next to impossible. So what I think they're going to try to do is take away the run as much as they can and limit and contain and control the pass. We'll see what happens.
Devin Keith to kick off. Brimage waiting for it at the 10. He gets it. And up the middle he goes. He's got a big hole. He's at the 40. Midfield. Brimage down the sideline. Nobody is touching him. Score for Mooresville. What a play on the kickoff. Gideon Brimage, the senior running back, to the house.
Yeah, and Mooresville showed that last week against Lebanon. They have so much speed, and their speed is big guys too. It's not, thin-looking guys. It's the big guys. Take a look here. He just gets a great wall here, finds the seam, and then the speed takes over. Look, he passes guys down the field, his own guys. Wow, you got to contain. That is so difficult to do, is contain. I'll tell you, if you've ever been on a kickoff team, it's one of the more difficult things to do. And people look at it because it's just kind of you kick it, people make tackles. But it is a very, very difficult thing to do, is contain, especially when you got big running backs like Mooresville has.
Brian Houck for the extra point. That is a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Hogan Denny, the holder. The kick on its way. Nailed it. 14-7, Mooresville.
That was quick.
Nick Patterson sitting over there on the sideline, the Mooresville quarterback, saying, okay, I'll be happy with the work my special teams does.
Well, and when you have the ability to score from special teams, they can score defensively too. That's the sign of a very, very well-rounded ball club when you can score from so many different avenues. Puts a lot of pressure on the opponent, and I think right now Danville's got great rhythm, so they just got to get back to work here and just repeat what they did the first time. Get in a rhythm, get their ground game going, and they shown at least in that first series, John, that they can be successful against this really good Mooresville ball club.
They had the ball for 11 plays, 78 yards, 4:28 off the clock on Danville's opening scoring drive. That was what they had to tie the game at 7 before that kickoff return.
We knew two things. You and I talked about this. We knew, this is going to be a really good ball game. Two really good ball clubs, two well-coached ball clubs, great athletes, great atmosphere. So this thing, you just never know. But I expected the score just to skyrocket. How many digits we got on that scoreboard?
We already got 21 combined points, and we still have 4 minutes to go.
But this is what makes it fun. You see a lot of scoring, a lot of chess going on. To answer your question, those defensive coordinators are going over there, I got to earn my money tonight. So they got to figure out how to stop both these offenses.
And also, clearly the special teams coordinators have their work cut out for them.
Yes, they do. Every aspect of your game has to be on its A game tonight because both teams have that ability to expose your weakness.
Mooresville nearly won a state championship last year, but then ran into Ron Colley.
As did everyone.
As did everyone, right?
Ron Colley was just at a different level for everybody last year. I had all those games, and Ron Colley was the real deal.
Kenny Curry to kick off again for Mooresville. It is a short wobbler towards the sideline, and that's not what you want. Goes out of bounds. That's going to be an illegal procedure penalty on Mooresville, which will give Danville pretty good field position.
Yeah, and if you're Danville, you'll take that all day long. I'm not sure what happened. He just didn't really get much foot under it. I don't know if that was intentional or unintentional, but if you're Danville, you're going to take this field position all day long.
If you can get it from the 35-yard line, they'll certainly take that and feel great about it. 3:56 to play in the first quarter.
Well, now the suns went down. That helps players a little bit. While the humidity was always my worst enemy, and it's still here, but at least the sun's down now, and that'll help the heat a little bit. It was 90 degrees at game time.
Cale Payne back to work. Gives to Papa. And his lead tailback, Andrew Papa, I remember had that 53-yard run with a good start here on this drive. Out to the 39 for a gain of 4, second down and 6. On the tackle for Mooresville, Jackson Nielsen.
Pretty good stop in that middle by that interior, and that Mooresville has a pretty good size interior there. As I talked about, they'll do that 4-2, so they really have some big, strong guys up front. A little bit different in the blocking scheme versus 3 guys up front or 2 guys up front. Let's see how Danville continues to approach this.
Payne. Now he's in trouble. Down he goes for the sack. It is Lucas Bollock. He comes flying around the right edge and sacks him for a loss back to the 31, loss of 8, and it's 3rd and long.
And let's see if Bollock, yeah, he got touched a little bit, but you got to stay with your block a little bit longer than that. He got a nice read, and as soon as he got it, he seen it, and Bollock really turned on the jets. And then by that time, the defense or the offensive tackle already had his body turned, and that's tough to catch a defender who's really going after the quarterback a mile an hour, and he got to him.
And it's 3rd down and about 14 after that. Bollock here coming up the field. They try to go with a dump-off screen. It does not work. Looking for Brayton McMahon, and he dropped it, so now it's 4th and 14.
Well, this play just never developed. I love the call because after you have a sack, the best thing to do to come back to people who are rushing the quarterback is to have that little screen pass, because then the next guy psychological goes, maybe I need to slow down a little bit. It's a great call, I think, by the offense. It just was not executed very well.
Tyler Doston is back deep to punt this one away for Danville. We'll have more on him at halftime. Gets his left leg into this, and fair catch called for, and he drops it. But he falls back on it. Nice job there by Johnny Clampett. So he dropped it, then he fell right back on it. However, because of that, it ends up being a loss of probably about 4 yards from where they would have gotten it. So Mooresville's getting it at their own 26.
Now, John, with 2:22 left in this period, we're going to come back later on and see how effective this was. This is one of the times that Danville wasn't able to do much offensively. Let's see if that affects this game much in field position or if Mooresville can capitalize on it.
Nick Patterson back to work at quarterback. Fakes to Brimage. Screen pass, left side, nowhere to go for Hogan Denny. The Mooresville defense all over it.
Well defended. You got to read this one, and this is the bread and butter play, and I got to think Danville's probably worked on this all week long. This is Mooresville's bread and butter play, just out to the flats. Boom, quick. But what he does very well here is the outside linebacker turns the ball carrier inside. Because if you turn him outside, you got no help. You turn him inside, and you got all that linebacker help. Well done by Danville.
Wyatt Gentry on the tackle, loss of 6. 2nd and 16 for Mooresville. Patterson going deep. Has a man, and it's caught. That is Jackson again. Jackson may score for the 2nd time tonight, and he does. That is an 80-yard touchdown strike from Patterson to Jackson, and it's 20-7 Mooresville.
And Patterson literally throws his thing 5-footed. He never even drops back. That's how strong his arm is. Now Danville's going to learn that here in a hurry. You cannot allow these receivers to get behind him. You let him get behind you, he's got too strong of an arm. That's going to be that's problematic. So they've got to adjust their secondary to not allow them to get behind him if at all possible.
Brian Houck, how about the night that he's had already? Busy man. He's on for his third extra point try.
You're better off if at all possible. You may give up some yardage in front of you, but if you let Mooresville get behind you, their receivers are too quick, and Patterson can just throw the ball a country mile. That's going to be 6.
And the extra point is made. 21-7.
I think we're seeing why secondary play is in the keys of the game, because both ball clubs, Payne has not thrown it a lot yet, but he certainly can and probably will have to. But Mooresville is clearly showing what their bread and butter is, and they can just throw it all over the place. And once again, that offensive line, he doesn't need long to throw it, but it's really tough to get to him.
And how about Nick Patterson's stats so far this season, Jan? 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. His longest throw before that was a 30-yard touchdown pass, and he just threw an 80-yard strike.
Well, and that's the other thing that adds to so many things that you could say are so good about him. He doesn't force much, but he didn't have to force much. Let's give these receivers from Mooresville a lot of credit because they get separation. And when you get separation like they do, it makes his job a whole lot easier than if he has to just really throw it in there without much room.
Logan Jackson had 7 receptions for 88 yards last week. He already has 2 catches this week and 4 touchdowns this season for Mooresville. And the Pioneers, number 2 in Class 4A, taking it to the number 1 team in Class 3A, Danville.
But I think we have to go back to Danville's offensive series. Remember, we talked about they weren't able to do much offensively. They didn't get much yardage and didn't keep the ball very long. Their offense keeping the ball is as good a defense as their defense is because they just need to have the ball in their hands as much as they possibly can.
Mooresville had a little trouble getting set on special teams. Curry tries to keep it in bounds this time, and he does. Trying to just kind of go with that deep onside kick, and it was fielded that time by Danville's Jimmy Greenfield, and he picked it up, was decked out of bounds at the 32. So it looks like, based on the way that Mooresville's playing special teams, Jan, Danville's going to get in pretty good field position all night.
Well, sometimes you are what you are as a kicking team, and if that's what you got, that's what you got. So what they're told to do, obviously, is just get it as near to out of bounds, and if it goes out of bounds, that's fine. But we'll take that versus a long return. So they're pretty comfortable with that. Plus, they know they got an offense that can put up massive points, too. So when you put those two together, it doesn't put near as much pressure on their kicking game as it would some teams.
Payne back to work, trying to get his offense going. Papa, the handoff, bowing forward, taking defenders with him out to the 38-yard line. That is a gain of 6, second down at 4.
I don't know that, once again, Danville necessarily needs to score. They certainly would like to, being down, but they cannot go off here and not hold on to the ball here for a little while and try to change the field, at least field position-wise. But, boy, the longer you go without scoring, it makes it a little rougher on you. So let's see if they can be effective here on this drive.
Jackson Nielsen, Lucas Bullock combined on the tackle there for Mooresville. Great atmosphere tonight. Both student sections and fans have showed out well. Quick throw across the middle, incomplete as Payne tried to get it to Brayton McMahon. Good coverage in the slot there by Gavin Toole, third down and 4.
Well, Payne hasn't thrown a lot, and this is a good call. I think that, was intended for Brayton McMahon, I believe, number 11. And it should have been caught. It's right in his numbers, and he just wasn't able to hang on. And so now this is a big, big third down, John.
Payne in trouble, but throws it down the field just wide of the mark.
Well, I thought he had him too. The receiver had a step. I think he had some room there. Tyler Dawson was the intended receiver. And that Danville offensive line gave him adequate time to throw the football just a tad over his hands. It looked like he may have had some room there, but wasn't able to bring it in. And That's going to bring up another 4th down for Danville.
But Bullock was bringing some pressure off the edge. Dostin on to punt it away.
But Danville's front line gave him a lot of time to throw the football.
Dostin kicks one, wobbles. Brimage going to let it go.
Oh, this is going to turn out good for Danville.
And it's downed at the 15-yard line by Ethan Walls. So that backs Mooresville up to their own 15-yard line.
I really feel like now, John, this is a biggest series both for Danville defensively and Mooresville offensively. You're down 2 scores if you're Danville. You just don't want to go down 3 scores here early. So this may be as big a series defensively for Danville as it is for the offense, but maybe more so for Danville in this defensive series. Let's see if they can rise to the occasion. Or if you're Mooresville, man, this is where you want the killer instinct. Put them away.
47-yard punt on that. No return. 38 seconds left in the first quarter. Patterson throws it left. Caught by Jackson again, who's been his bread and butter all night. Out across the 20 to the 23. Gain of 8. 2nd down and 2 for the Pioneers.
And did you see the timing on this? As he makes his cut, the ball's right there. That's all summer long pitch and catch with your receivers. He just knew the ball was going to be there.
Patterson with a handoff this time to Brimage. Brimage scampers forward, has the first down to the 26-yard line. Needed 2, got 3.
A pretty good stop. And you're seeing really a good job by Danville. I really trying to control this run.
They wait for the chains to move, and then they wind the clock. Only 6 seconds left. And Patterson to let the clock wind down, and that does it for quarter number 1. It is Mooresville 21, Danville 7. Second quarter coming your way next on the ISC Sports Network.
The gratitude that we have for everyone here at Hendricks Regional Health, it's bigger than a thank you.
We have been recognized by Health Grades for 14 years in a row for patient experience. There's only 7 other organizations in the country who have that track record.
You treat everyone like they're your neighbor, friend, family.
That's the most important thing to Hendricks.
14 different hospital staff members came in to meet our baby. That's how much these people cared.
Find care now at thisishendricks.org.
Defining Looks is a full-service wig and hair salon. We offer shampoo, cut, color, and styling for wigs and hair. Whether your situation is medical or cosmetic, our goal is to help you every step of the way in this emotional process. Let Defining Looks help you create your signature look. Schedule a consultation at defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, located on Sagamore Parkway North, next to Home Depot.
We begin the second quarter and we change sides. 21-7, Mooresville leads Danville. You look at the Danville crowd, they haven't had a whole lot to cheer about lately, but Mooresville facing a 1st down and 10. What does Danville have to do defensively here,
Well,
Jan?
they got to hang in there. Honestly, it's been a couple big plays. The big plays have been the problem. Overall, their defense has played pretty well, but the big play has really hurt them. They've got to make sure they keep these receivers in front of them.
Patterson pumps and throws, going deep again. He's had confidence in the deep ball all night, but overshoots his man this time, Johnny Clampett. Good coverage down the field by Danville's Trevor Stutz.
Yeah,
that makes it 2nd and 10.
This is really good coverage, actually. While he's got a little separation, he's got a little help there, but he was step for step with him, which just doesn't allow much room there for the quarterback. That was as solid as man-to-man coverage as Danville's had. Very well done.
Logan Jackson has caught 2 touchdown passes from Patterson. Patterson with the handoff this time to Brimage. Brimage tries to scamper out of a tackle, cannot do it. Got to the 28, gain of 2, and he was cut down at the last moment there by Devin Keith. 3rd down and 8. And they go back to the line quickly. Patterson.
Sharp really on a good job defensively that time for Danville. They're doing a good job against the run.
Patterson throwing it as a catch for a 1st down. This time it is Johnny Clampett. Clampett, they say he's out at the 40, gain of 12. Move the chains.
Now, I just didn't want to overdo this, but it's not hard. Take a look at how he throws this ball. That's a wrist throw. You just don't see that out of high school guys. You talk about how strong arms are. He literally throws it with his wrist. That's strong. You don't see that very often. And that was a 15-yard accurate pass.
Andrew Papa was the man on the coverage for Danville.
I've seen a lot of quarterbacks in my time that, have strong arms, can move, but I've seen very few people who have the wrist strength that he has.
Patterson with the pump fake. Going deep. There's Jackson again. He had him, but he threw him just a tad too far. And Ethan Walls is breathing a sigh of relief on coverage.
That was at least 4-yard separation. He throws this ball a long way, but luckily for Danville, it was over the head, or that would have been another easy 6.
2nd and 10. Jackson's touchdown receptions tonight.
It's one thing to cover a guy, John. You could say you cover this guy man-to-man. But if he is so much quicker than you or faster than you, that makes it a little more difficult. And these receivers for Mooresville are super quick and super fast.
Going to Jackson again. Jackson makes the catch at the 45, turns it upfield to the 48, wrestled down by Brian Wiest and a couple other guys. Gain of 8, 3rd down and 2.
Now look at number 82 there in your picture, Logan Jackson. Among so many other things that makes him so difficult, he's got great length. So he's at least 6'2", 6'3", and then his arms as he reaches up. So that makes him super difficult to cover, even if you're on him, because he has such great length.
Big 3rd down here. And Patterson loves to get to the line quickly and then
big
drop
3rd
back.
down. Boy, if you're Danville, if you can find a 3rd down play here, it could be huge.
And this is.
Oh, it's good.
Well, we got a flag, though. We'll see what this is about.
Wow, this could be interesting. This flag here, we haven't had many, John. This could be an interesting call.
This is only our 2nd flag of the night. The other one was that illegal procedure penalty on the kickoff earlier.
And I find the offensive play call for Mooresville just a little bit interesting.
They try to give it to Brimage to get the 1st down. Personal foul, face mask against Danville.
Wow, they had him stopped and get the face mask. Boy, that's an unfortunate break. And if people's ever played football, that's one of the most difficult. You're in there trying to get whatever you can get, and sometimes the hand just goes to face mask. Well, I get it. It's the call. You got to be safety. But, man, how are you supposed to control your big paw up there when you're grabbing things and not hit the face mask? It's a good call. But, man, as a defensive lineman, I hated that call.
8th play of the drive coming up here for Mooresville. They started back at their own 15-yard line. They lead 21-7. 10-15 still to play in the 2nd quarter.
It's a good call. It's a safety issue. You can't be grabbing that thing.
As a man for a second, it looked like, did Patterson, but a little bit high for Hogan Denny.
Well, I'll tell you why this was a little bit high. It's one of the few times that Danville actually got some pressure on him, and he threw this ball just a little quicker than he wanted to, and that was the reason the pass was incomplete. So some good pressure that time by Danville.
2nd and 10. Denny comes in motion. He flips it back to Denny. Denny throws it to Brimage. Brimage makes the catch of the 20. Brimage to the 10, to the 5, shoved out of bounds at the 4. How about that trickery from the Danville offense, from the Mooresville offense?
Throwing a little wrinkle in, seeing if everybody is awake, and this is tough because not only is it a halfback pass, but it's a halfback pass across the field, which a lot of times are dangerous. But certainly it works for Mooresville this time.
And that ends up being a 34-yard play. Back to the ground game with Brimage. Got to the 3, gain of 1, 2nd down and goal from there.
I'll tell you, Darren Sharp for Danville has been everywhere tonight. He's just a junior, but I really like the way he gets to the ball. He really does a good job of finding the ball, reading, and getting there in a hurry.
Patterson with Denny coming in motion. Fakes it to Denny, keeps it, runs up the gut, and scores again. So 2 touchdown passes for Patterson, and now a touchdown run. Mooresville 27, Danville 7. 3 yards on the scamper.
Yeah, he's a handful to bring down. He's 225 maybe, strong. That's a difficult. He did a little fake there, got everybody to go with the fake, and then as big as he is, look, you're not going to, unless you get an initial hit and get some help, he's going to be able to get 2 or 3 on you.
Wyatt Gentry was there to tackle him, but it was just too late. Hauk for the extra point. It's a wobbler, but it got through.
Yep.
Mooresville 28, Danville 7, with 9:25 to play in the second quarter. Back in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
Sports medicine at Hendricks is all about providing level of care that's unmatched.
We've made our team deeper with surgical specialties.
We have the best physical therapy staff in the state.
We work very closely with the orthopedic specialists, and it really makes the treatment plan more seamless.
In an environment that's small enough to meet your needs, but also large enough to have the tools to take great care of you.
This is Hendricks.
Find care at hendricks.org/ortho.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
28-7, Mooresville with 9:25 to play in the second quarter. Along with Jan Bozer, I'm John Herrick on the ISC Sports Network. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Defining Looks Wig Hair and Nail Salon, where they can assist you with a wig for your hair loss needs due to COVID-19, any medical conditions such as cancer or age-related thinning hair. They're also certified in toppers, wigs for kids, and children with hair loss. Find them on the web at defininglooks.com or on Facebook and Instagram.
9:25 left in the half. And I think you said during the timeout, Mooresville scored every time they've had the ball.
That's right.
Accurate. Boy, they're just in sync. And we talked about offensive rhythm. I think they're in offensive rhythm.
11 plays, 85 yards, 3:03 off the clock on that last scoring drive. The kickoff by Curry into the end zone perfectly.
Well, now if you're Danville, you can't abandon the running game, but now you got to find some offense. And so here's the good and bad news about that. They got a good quarterback to throw the football, but now Mooresville also knows they have to throw the football. And if you're a defensive lineman right now, you're going to do one thing and one thing only, and that's peel off and try to get to the quarterback in a hurry to the point where you just about abandon the run. Let's see how Danville handles this. They still got tons of time here. They just got to continue to put drives together, though, and get to this end zone.
Pitch to Papa. Papa to the outside. Nowhere to go. Got to about the 24, so looking good there to start. Then he got bent backwards. Gavin Toole over there for Mooresville, as well as Ashton Holtzclaw. And it is second down and 6.
One of the things I thought we might see in this ball game is because how good Mooresville is, I thought we might see Danville throw a little more on first down. They haven't really done that so far, just to try to get things opened up for the running game a little bit.
How much do you stay on script with what you practiced here?
Well, you got to do what you're comfortable with. They're all, the coaching staff knows that a whole lot better than I do. But obviously, when you're down 28-7, you can't just let the clock eat away either.
Papa, the carry again, dives forward to the 28, putting an end to that run.
They're just obviously a reason that they don't either feel comfortable with line block or the receivers are young. A lot of them are young that they can put them in opportunity to make plays. So nevertheless, you're going to be in a position here if you can't get a drive together to score here where you have no choice.
Gain of 4, third down and 2 after that, coming up on 8 minutes left in the second quarter.
And John, the other thing this is game 2.
Yep.
You're working for the big picture here. While you certainly want to win this game, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Papa, nice carry again. Looks like he's got the first down this time, and he does. Gain of 3. Chains move, 1st and 10 for Danville.
Especially if you're developing young players, because Danville lost a lot of good players, especially some good receivers, and they want to try to be patient a lot with, the younger kids. And so the last thing you want to do is just get them banged up or lose their confidence early in the season. So there's probably some of that going on as well. Because, wow, they had some seriously good receivers on that last year ball club.
Well, they stacked 3 of them to the left here.
I think, aren't we going to see a play of the year? And I believe it might be one of the Danville receivers coming up.
That's coming up at halftime.
Yeah.
Papa gets a floating screen pass, and he is rung out of bounds.
Look out.
Yep, that's going to be a personal foul penalty.
That's going to bring the family.
Brady Johnson was doing such a good job of bringing him down, and then he just got a little bit excessive, and another flag was just thrown.
Well,
so now we got to see this. We could have fouls on both teams here. Things got chippy on the sideline after the play happened, so now we have to see what this is all about.
Well, I think Danville's going to get one for but I'll tell you what, I do know this. I respect the fact he goes, listen, you're not going to do that to my player. And I obviously the Mooresville kid did something he shouldn't do. This is I don't know how intentional. He should have just stopped on the whistle, and he didn't. That's a flag.
Yep.
And that's not good. He shouldn't be doing that. But you know what I like from Danville? While he picked up the flag, and you got to control everything here. That's my team. That's my family. And he's showing the younger players, listen, that's the intensity I play with. And while the coach has got to tell him to settle down, and I get it, I respect the fact, listen, that's my family. That's my team. Don't do that. I get it. I like it. I don't like the foul, and I get it. You got to call that. But that's what team football is all about, is protecting your players. I'm not promoting anything here. I'm just saying I like his attitude. But everybody's got to stop on the whistle at the end of the day. And when you don't, that's what the yellow thing's for. Mooresville player clearly should have stopped, and he didn't.
So it's a personal foul penalty against Mooresville, and then a taunting penalty against Danville. And after all of that, it is 2nd down and 5 for Danville from the 35.
Let me tell you something. Football's an intense sport. And you as a warrior-type player, you play hard, and sometimes the game gets a little emotional. And if you're not playing with some emotion, you're probably not playing real hard.
And Papa, he's been playing hard, gets across the 40 to the 42-yard line, picking up 7. On the tackle was Jackson Nielsen, but the chains are moving yet again for Danville. This is the 6th play of the drive for them, a drive for them that started back at their own 20. They've had the ball for over 2 minutes. We're inside 7 minutes to play in the second quarter. Mooresville ahead 28-7.
I'm telling you, John, if somebody comes through and takes me out, I expect you to protect me. I'm just telling you right now.
I will definitely protect you.
I'm old, so I don't know if I can protect you or not.
Well, that's comforting to know.
I'll do my best. I'll just say that.
Well, now I'll sleep much better.
Okay,
not knowing
all right.
that. Papa again with the carry to the 46. Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. First guy there for Mooresville, Gavin Toole.
Well, we talked about last week that Danville only rushed for 103 yards in that win, and clearly they're trying to get this running game a little better, where they had 170 yards passing last week against Franklin.
And Andrew Papa is one of those seniors that can provide the leadership, and he's already had a big 53-yard run in this game, so they are leaning on him big time. There he goes again across midfield, has the first down, and then is shoved down right afterwards by Jackson Nielsen, but the play was made a little too late by him as Danville marches into Mooresville territory. That is a gain of 7 and a Danville first.
Papa's a really good running back, senior on this ball club, one of the leaders. I like the way he keeps his shoulders square. He finds the hole very quick, too. If you watch him, he can really find the hole in a real quick second after he gets the ball.
Payne with a man in motion.
See how he shifted? Well, that wasn't Papa that time.
No, that wasn't. That time it was Darren Sharp. Sharp still going, by the way. Across the 40 to the 38-yard line. That is a gain of 9, so 2nd down and 1. Looked like Sharp might be stopped for a gain smaller than that, but then kept on going. Brantley Butcher finally made the stop on him.
Let me tell you something here. You know what? This Danville team has kind of took off a little bit since the little emotion was showed on that, on the sideline. Well, once again, don't condone anything after the whistle. I think some emotion's starting to kick in here for Danville. I like it.
Sharp the carry again, bowing forward to the 36, picking up 2. That's enough for a first down. But he's brought down by Gavin Toole. And now Sharp's going to get a breather.
Well, you look at their jerseys, and they're just soaking wet. You know how humid it is. Temperature's certainly got a little cooler since we got here. Let's get a new game time temperature here. It is 84. It's dropped a big 6 degrees.
By the way, no passes on this drive.
Yep.
All runs. 4:35 to play in the second quarter. Mooresville by 21, but Danville on the move. Handoff, Sharp again. This time nowhere to go. Tackled by Brantley Butcher. They give him the 34. That is a gain of 2, second down and 8.
And I really like what Danville. They're not pushing the panic button here. They're doing what they're comfortable doing. And if they can get in here and get a score, there's still only 2 scores down and still very doable. So this is a big drive, and certainly if they can get in the end zone here.
And Mooresville taking a timeout. We'll step aside as well. 4:08 left in the second. Mooresville by 21 on the ISC Sports Network.
Defining Looks is a full-service wig and hair salon. We offer shampoo, cut, color, and styling for wigs and hair. Whether your situation is medical or cosmetic, our goal is to help you every step of the way in this emotional process. Let Defining Looks help you create your signature look. Schedule a consultation at defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, located on Sagamore Parkway North, next to Home Depot.
Want lightning-fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town, so you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Back with a second down and 8, which might have just turned into second and longer. Yes, it did. And right as we come back, a false start called on Danville. And that's just killer, Jan. You've been on a drive, you're moving the ball well, and now you got to back it up 5.
Sometimes it's not how many penalties you get, it's the timing of the penalty, and that couldn't come at a worse time because they really had themselves in a situation second and very manageable. Now they really kind of put themselves in a little bit of difficult here in the playbook. Let's see if they still got a couple downs here. You got to find at least 6 or 7 on this play or maybe more.
So second and 13. This is the 11th play of the drive for Danville. This is the first pass of the drive, too. Payne going deep.
Perfect.
Got his man for the touchdown for the Warriors. That is Brian Weiss, who got behind the defense and scored.
And Danville does to Mooresville what Mooresville did to Danville. He got behind him, he got separation, and Payne can't throw this ball any better. And what he does is he leads him. If he throws this too early, it's not going to be caught, and he throws it too late, it's not going to be caught. Payne absolutely throws this perfect and lets him run right underneath it. You can't throw any better than that.
He got behind Julian Thompson, the junior defensive back.
That's a big touchdown. And the line gave him all day to throw the football. That was key.
39-yard pass.
I'll tell you, that's huge. Danville right back in this thing. That was a big, big, big drive. And how about the second long call by the offensive coordinator?
Looks like Danville needs to call another timeout on a special teams extra point play. Remember, they did that back in the first quarter. They got to do it again here. 11 plays, 80 yards on the scoring drive. 5 minutes, 23 seconds off the clock for Danville. And the extra point try coming up.
Wow, what an excellent throw. It is an absolute thrill through the years to see really good quarterbacks. Ones that use their head, ones that make good plays, ones that know how to anticipate. Boy, we're just absolutely having a treat tonight to have 2 really, really good quarterbacks put on a show here. I love it.
So of those 11 plays, the first 10 on the drive were runs, and then on the 11th play, Payne throws a strike for a touchdown.
And that's experience played a big part of that because he's been around the block a few times and knew exactly when to throw that football.
Caleb Harvey for the extra point. Trey Thompson is your holder. Harvey trying to line himself up.
I'll tell you, after that penalty, Danville kind of got fired up a little bit, put something together. I like it.
And he knocks through the extra point. 28-14. Danville back within 2 scores. Mooresville gets the ball back with 4:02 to play in the second quarter. So one thing that is a bit of a downside here for Mooresville, Jan, is that they were just on the sideline, not being able to do anything for 5 minutes and 23 seconds. How do they try to get their offensive rhythm back going? If in fact they may have lost it, maybe they didn't, but they were on the sideline for a long time.
Well, I think they're veteran enough where I don't think they lost it. But I really think the key is Danville staying on the field. That's to me the key to the game. While their defense has played very well, guess who can't score if they're not on the field? And so, for me, Danville's offense is as much their defense as it is their offense, especially when they can score, because Mooresville's offense is sitting over there. So, excellent drive, took time off the clock, and then they rewarded that really good drive with a touchdown. So I think actually they killed a lot of birds with one stone there.
Johnny Clampett is back deep, and so is Gideon Brimage for Mooresville to receive the kickoff from Caleb Harvey.
Now, we've got to remember that Mooresville has great return specialists. Let's see if they can collect there, and Danville has to remember that as well. You got to contain here on this kickoff.
Actually, that's James Beck doing the kickoff specialist duties. Brimage already with a kickoff return for a touchdown tonight. He gets across the 30. He may go again. He's out to the outside. He's at midfield. Brimage could go to the house for the second time tonight, and he does. Holy cow.
That guy's special. There are some things you coach. There are some things you don't. That is partly coaching and a whole lot of athleticism.
79 yards on the kickoff return for Brimage.
Now watch him read the blocks. Cuts back right there. Strong, where he can escape 2 blocks there, and then he has speed to leave everybody there. That's why he is so dangerous. Wow, that's a backbreaker. After you did everything you need to at Danville to get right back in this thing, that one is a backbreaker.
So think about this. Last week, Mooresville beat Lebanon 35-7.
Yeah.
And already in the first half of this game, with the extra point by Hauk, he knocks it through. Now they already have 35 points, and there's still 3 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Well, and 2 of their touchdowns that you just mentioned are on special teams. So, well, they have a lot of different ways they can get to you here, that's for sure. They didn't have any. I'm trying to remember last week. I had the game. I don't recall any returns for a touchdown. Maybe one. But anyway, oh, man, there's the people. Better be in shape. They're doing push-ups for each point.
You have 35 push-ups so far tonight for the cheerleaders,
man.
Jan.
I would go, I thought they were only up by 10, so they would have did 10. The girls are in a lot better shape than the guys, maybe. That's a lot of push-ups, John.
It is.
35.
Can you
can
do
35, huh?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, I could do 35 back in the day. My word, I probably can't do 2 now. Safety, and I'm hurting.
I think the mindset for Danville's got to be this, Jan. Probably another long scoring drive.
Get
a touchdown maybe before half, and then you get the ball to start the third quarter.
I agree, but I think they've got some more comfort here with their passing game with that last touchdown pass. So maybe they'll open up just a little bit. But their game plan is to really stay with what they're doing. They've been successful with it. Their problem right now is just stopping Mooresville. It's not they can't produce offensively. It's just special teams, and Mooresville's offense has at least been pretty successful here early.
Kenny Curry with the ball on the tee. Danville had everybody up near the line to just be ready in case for the off chance that there was an onside kick. Brayton McMahon, one of the guys back deep for Danville. And this one of the balls headed his direction. But it's actually fielded by Brian Wiest. Wiest from the 2 gets across the 20 to about the 22 before he is knocked down there. One of the first guys there to knock him down was Caden Samuels, sophomore running back and linebacker So that's a return of 20 yards. Danville's going to have to go 78 yards to get it in the end zone.
Let's not forget, Mooresville was one play away from going to Lucas last year. They got taken out by Roncalli, which was completely on a different scale from anybody last year. So Mooresville has a whole lot of those same players back this year. So this is the year, like Danville's really peak year was last year. Now they're still pretty good for sure, but they got some young people they're going to have to bring along.
Mooresville number 2 in 4A. Danville number 1 in 3A. Pitch to Papa right side. Good gain on the first play from scrimmage. Gain of 8. Second down and 2.
Yeah, if you're Danville here, what you're just talking about from an offensive perspective, just keep working on your execution. Don't look at the scoreboard. That'll take care of itself. Just continue to work. Get your young guys the experience they need. Just keep getting better and better and better.
3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Mooresville 35, Danville 14. Gavin Toole just made his 6th tackle of the night. He has been a busy man on defense. Hand off to Papa again, dancing forward to the 30. Might have gotten a yard. In fact, that's all they're giving him. A gain of 1, and that makes it 3rd and 1. Lucas Bullock on the tackle.
Yeah, and Copeland, what I liked about what Copeland did there from that defensive is, while he wasn't the primary tackler, he got rid of his block and really, when a guy's got the tackle, the more help you can get, the better. And it was good gang tackling that time by Mooresville.
Payne. They keep it on the ground again to Papa. He appears to have enough for the first. They're running to the 33, which would indicate a 2-yard gain and a first down, and it does.
I think we had a timeout as well. Yep, Mooresville called a timeout.
All right, so both teams now have 1 timeout remaining in this first half. 2:20 to play in it. If those of you have been following along, by the way, on the ISC Sports Network throughout the offseason, we've been ranking our plays based on the votes from you, the fans, and we will come up at halftime and tell you who the winner of the fan vote play of the year was, and it involves a player from Danville.
Yeah, I was going to say, we give them a big hint. We're at the place where it took the play took place last year. Yeah, it's special play too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And of course, fittingly, you were calling that. So
I wasn't going to say that, but now that you brought it up, yes, I take a lot of pride in being associated with the play of the week.
Yeah.
And if it happens to go all the way,
play of the year.
I know. Well, if it happens to go all the way, that's fine.
Yeah.
But each week, I take a lot of pride in hopefully you will get the play of the game.
All right.
And we're going to do that again.
All right. You might have bribed some of the fans, but that's okay.
Whatever it takes.
Tries to get to the outside, and he is pulled from behind by Bullock. Lucas Bullock continues to have a whale of a game defensively. Got to the 39-yard line, though. Papa making some good gains when he appears to be in trouble, and that's a gain of 6.
Yeah, and there's a play I talked about earlier, his ability to go left and right incredibly fast. I kind of think that play was meant to go up the middle, nothing there, and he shifts outside in a hurry and got something out of it.
Minute 45 to play until halftime. Payne, first throw of the drive. It is complete. And this time, making the catch, it is Tyler Doston. Doston truck sticks his way out of bounds to the 46, gain of 7.
And I think we're going to see this play a little more where Danville sends somebody long, gets the linebackers in the secondary to go with the long guys, and then gets that secondary receiver underneath. I think we'll see that play a lot. Danville likes that play. They execute it very well, and I really think we might see that play just a little bit more. I really like that play.
Bradley Hess shoved him out, but not before he got a first down. It stops the clock at 1:38 remaining. Mooresville has led from the outset. Papa the carry, taking a defender with him out to the 50-yard line for a gain of 4, and that was Aaron McClure, who took him down 2nd and 6.
Boy, Papa, once he takes a hit, he just keeps those legs driving. You love to have backs like that just kind of have that refusal to go down just because they're hit hard.
Papa again,
there
breaks
he goes.
Loose. He's at the middle of the field, 30, and a touchdown saving tackle made by Mooresville's Hogan Denny. out to the 27-yard line for a gain of 23, and Papa's tired.
Well, right on cue, though, look at his legs. See, I just talked about that last play, John, and because he kept his legs churning, Mooresville kind of lethargically tried to take him down that time, and because he kept his legs churning, he kept going, and that's a huge gain for him.
Yep, 23. Inside a minute to play, both teams with one timeout. Danville trying to score before the half. Payne going deep, has a man, touchdown! And that is Brian Wiest again. Wiest has scored 2 touchdowns, and I think he hurt himself.
I think he got a leg cramp.
Maybe a leg cramp, but Wiest with another big play that Danville needed gets him back within 15.
Yeah, that's the humidity working there when you're doing a lot of running, which he has done. And he gets behind, gets separation, and the ball once again is perfectly thrown in stride. And there's the leg cramp.
27-yard pass play, and out comes the Danville training staff to take a look at him.
Those hurt. I got to tell you, those hurt.
8-play, 78-yard scoring drive.
Boy, Danville just hanging in there. Still just a couple of scores back. They can just stay within striking distance and get a stop.
2 minutes, 47 seconds off the clock.
Boy, Payne, once again, I seen it on the replay there, absolutely throws a perfect football. The receiver really didn't see it, kind of just had his hands where he thought. Now take a look where this ball goes. The receiver really doesn't see it till the last second, and it absolutely just drops in his hands. Perfection throwing the football by Payne.
Bradley Hess was also out there covering for Mooresville.
And I think that's, John, to the point you asked earlier, what can they do? When Danville has been successful scoring, they've had long drives, they keep that Mooresville offense over there. Puts a little more pressure, you got to score, but I really like what they're doing. They're getting a little more momentum each time with their offense.
Wiest being looked at by the training staff. Snap good, hold good, kick on the way from Harvey, and he knocks it through. 35-21 Mooresville.
That's a lot of points.
Yep, it is. That's a final score for a lot of places throughout the state of Indiana most of the time. But here tonight, that's what it might be by the time the half ends. I mean, let's keep in mind, Mooresville's going to get the ball back with 50 seconds to play.
Yeah, it's imperative if you're a Danville fan that nothing happens as far as scoring in that 52 seconds. But that's certainly not what Mooresville has on their mind. They think they have the speed and the arm that they can score at any place at any time, and that's what they'll be looking to do. So Danville's got to keep everything in front of them here, especially in that secondary. Even if you have to give up some big yardage, do not allow someone to get behind you in the secondary.
Also, this might sound crazy to say, Jan, but maybe kicking the ball out of bounds, not such a bad idea.
Oh, I think it's a good idea.
Because Gideon Brimage has 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns tonight, a 90-yard one and a 79-yard kickoff return for touchdown. And those are counted for the 14 points that are the difference in the game right now.
Yeah, kicking out of bounds is a great idea, or I know who I would not kick it to. Either choice is a lot better than the other choice. Boy, I mean, if you take – I know you can't because it's a big part of the game. You take away those 2 kickoff returns. Yep. We got a tie ball game. We're close. So those 2 runbacks for touchdowns now all of a sudden has become super important because offense right now, it's kind of been tied. So the separation in the score has clearly been those 2 touchdowns on special teams.
Also,
there he is.
3 passing touchdowns for Cale Payne this year for Danville to 2 interceptions.
Guess who wants the ball?
Oh, he is.
He's
chomping at the bit.
He can taste it. It's doing that. What he does is a lot like basketball. A guy's hit like 5 3-pointers in a row.
And James Beck opts to squib it. Jackson bobbles it for a second, then comes up with it at the 35, goes down at the 36. So that's actually probably the best possible scenario for Danville, given what's happened to them on special teams tonight. Mooresville 1st and 10 from their own 36. They've got 47 seconds to work with. Let's see how they opt to play this. They try to be aggressive. They do have 1 timeout left. Can they go 64 yards for another touchdown?
Well, Mooresville is incredibly hard to play zone defense against. You play zone against them, and it'll be tough. And playing man-to-man here, they've got to be really cautious.
Nick Patterson.
And Danville wants a timeout. They're going to talk about this, and they got to make sure they have absolutely their coverages. Everybody's on the same page, and who knows who's doing what here.
So Patterson tonight, 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run. 47 seconds remaining in the first half. And Danville just used their last timeout of half number 1. Got a great halftime show coming up for you. Be sure to stick with us. And we should have an outstanding second half of football. Danville's supposed to get the ball to begin the third quarter. Mooresville started this game off with a 10-play, 63-yard scoring drive. Took a 7-0 lead. Danville came back to tie it on the next drive with a Cale Payne 2-yard touchdown run. And then after that, Mooresville would score 21 unanswered, but Danville fighting back in it. That's where we are and how we've gotten to this point.
This could be interesting for either side. If you're Mooresville, it could really put major separation. If you're Danville, you do not want anything to happen in less than 50 seconds.
Patterson rolling and has a man for a completion just shy of midfield to the 48-yard line, gain of 12, and that's a 1st and 10. Nice reception by Johnny Clampett.
Yeah, these routes are made because Mooresville knows right now that Danville's going to play deep, so they're going to cut a little quicker, and so you can get big chunks of yardage here. And Mooresville used very little time. You think, well, 47 seconds, not much. Well, they used only 5 seconds on that play.
Clampett coming in motion this time. Patterson with good protection in front of him. There's Jackson again with the catch, shoved out at the 39-yard line of Danville. That is a gain of 13 and a first down.
Yes, sir. And Mooresville is getting big chunks of yardage here in a very short period of time.
Still 38 seconds left, and they've got that one timeout they can use. Clampett moving again. Patterson. Jackson, sideline, uses it. Out of bounds he goes at the 32. Gain of 7. And it is 2nd down and 3.
This is where Logan Jackson is so huge because he's a mismatch really to a lot of secondary players. And you get this thing high, he's really the only one that has a chance to get it.
35 seconds left here in the first half. What a clinic Mooresville's offense has put on. They've scored 21. The special teams has the other 14. Patterson slings it. Clampett again, 20. Pushed out of bounds at the 17-yard line. That is a gain of 15 yards and another Mooresville first down. He was shoved out by Ethan Walls.
28.7 seconds. Look at this throw. Wow. Just flick of the wrist, right on the money. And just like that, within just very few seconds, Mooresville is in the red zone and striking again.
Also helps to have Mike Gillen as their coach.
Yes,
43 years of coaching, over 300 career wins, 37-16 record in 5 years at Mooresville, trying to get number 38 for the Pioneers tonight. Patterson in trouble this time, just heaves it. Nowhere to go, so he throws it out of bounds. Jackson, the intended receiver, stops the clock at 22 seconds.
That was good secondary coverage by Danville. McMahon on the coverage. McMahon really nowhere to go. Wise throw that time by Patterson, just throw it out of bounds. Really nowhere to throw the football. Really good coverage that time by Danville.
Also, Brian Wiest is back out there playing cornerback, so that cramp is. And Mooresville was just a very late flag here, just called for an eligible man downfield penalty. So that's 5 yards, and that backs them up from the 17 to the 22. All right.
Well, I think a lineman probably thought he was going to start running in the last second. He threw it, so.
1st and 15 now. Patterson. Across the middle, there's a man, complete at the 5, and he's shoved out. But still, That's Brimage making a nice catch,
Yep.
a gain of 17 yards, and that makes it 1st and goal. And maybe, the clock stops for the 1st down. Patterson back quickly, takes the snap, fakes, throws to the end zone, back corner, leaping up. Did he get both feet in?
He only needs one.
He only needs one, and he did.
Yes, he did.
Jackson for another touchdown. Are you kidding me? Logan Jackson for another Mooresville score.
That is a D1 catch if I've ever seen one. As well covered as you can be covered, and that pass is still completed. I mean, he was so well covered. Only a absolutely perfect pass and a perfect catch. Had any shot because he only had one, really less than a foot of real estate to even get 1 foot in. Unbelievable play.
22 yards on that pass play.
In less than 50 seconds.
And there's still 9.5 seconds remaining.
Major league play.
Houck for the extra point. Boots it through. 6 plays, 64 yards. In 38 seconds.
And if you're Danville and you're the secondary coach or the defensive coach, you just can't complain about that coverage. There's really nothing more he could possibly do. He had him covered about as close as anybody could close. The ball was perfectly thrown. He had a little more length on him and just makes a spectacular catch, and that's just all there is to it.
42-21. Danville will get it back here, but they only have 9.5 seconds to work with and no timeouts. And if Mooresville, by the way, didn't have to use their timeout, that is about as good of a job, Jan, in terms of clock management for a drive that you can have.
That's the coach.
Yep.
The coach knows how to do that. Of course, you got to have players that can execute under those circumstances, and certainly Mooresville has that. But that was just perfection. They absolutely got 10 and 15 yards per play, played the clock, played the out of bounds. That's a tough play for Danville after they just did so many things right. That just continues to show how good this Mooresville ball club really is.
It's the second 22-yard completion for a touchdown from Nick Patterson to Logan Jackson tonight.
Patterson, the real deal?
I think he might be. Yeah.
He is an amazing young athlete. He's still got more time to play, but boy, he just has really brought his game another level.
I know he was really good last week, Jan, against that win against Lebanon, which I know you saw. Is he even better this week?
Oh yeah, no question about it. Once he got more experience under his belt with his players, the thing for me, Johnny, he looks so comfortable.
Yep.
He is so comfortable playing the game.
Squib kick, and Caden Collins just has to fall on it at the 14-yard line. 7.9 seconds. So you can wonder if Danville might try to throw one deep or maybe just take a knee and end the first half.
You know, and you asked me that question to start the game off, and it literally would have took me a half-hour intro to say all the good things about this young man. I kind of wanted to allow the game to kind of describe what he can do, and we've seen so many things that he can and does do. He's so patient. He's calm. He's got more athleticism than a lot of quarterbacks I've seen. He literally has the strongest wrist I've seen in years. He can run the football. I mean, he really has the full package. I don't know that he's where he's at in the college search, but, man, how could you not want that?
Payne opts to take a knee. That does it for the first half. The Mooresville Pioneers scored every time they had the ball in the first half. Nick Patterson put on a show, and Mooresville leads by 21 through 2 quarters of play. Our halftime show coming up when we come back on the ISC Sports Network.
The gratitude that we have for everyone here at Hendricks Regional Health, it's bigger than a thank you.
We have been recognized by Health Grades for 14 years in a row for patient experience. There's only 7 other organizations in the country who have that track record.
You treat everyone like they're your neighbor, friend, family.
That's the most important thing to Hendricks.
14 different hospital staff members came in to meet our baby. That's how much these people cared.
Find care now at thisishendricks.org.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, Your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Mooresville 42, Danville 21 at the half. Along with Jan Bozer, I'm John Herrick. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of high school football in the great state of Indiana on the ISC Sports Network. For those of you who've probably been following along with us on our social media pages on the ISC Sports Network, you've probably been seeing we have been counting down our plays of the year for 2020, and you, the fans, have decided what our play of the year winner is, and congratulations to Danville's Tyler Doston, our 2020-2021 ISC play of the year winner. Here it was. Tyler's tip and catch touchdown against Tri-West earns Danville a $500 check. Thank you to all the Warrior fans and, of course, everyone else for voting this year on the play of the year for the ISC Sports Network. Jan, that was really something special from Tyler.
It really was. It was one of those catches where concentration absolutely had to apply here because the ball was a little bit underthrown. Tipped once, not twice. Kept the feet in bounds. And, you know, I got to say something else. The voters were really smart this year. They really came out in numbers, and they were super smart, and I applaud them for their choice. I really do.
Yeah, there were a lot of great ones to choose from, so congratulations to Tyler Doston being our play of the year winner. And again, Danville gets a $500 check for that. 42-21, Mooresville leads Danville at the half. We will break down the first half when we come back in just a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Sports medicine at Hendricks is all about providing level of care that's unmatched.
We've made our team deeper with surgical specialties.
We have the best physical therapy staff in the state.
We work very closely with the orthopedic specialists, and it really makes the treatment plan more seamless.
In an environment that's small enough to meet your needs, but also large enough to have the tools to take great care of you.
This is Hendricks.
Find care at hendricks.org/ortho.
Defining Looks is a full-service wig and hair salon. We offer shampoo, cut, color, and styling for wigs and hair. Whether your situation is medical or cosmetic, our goal is to help you every step of the way in this emotional process. Let Defining Looks help you create your signature look. Schedule a consultation at defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, located on Sagamore Parkway North, next to Home Depot.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Brought to you by Endeavor Communications. Business phone solutions, more than a phone system. Endeavor offers a hosted, unified communication solution that gives businesses the ability to be accessible anytime, anywhere, on any device. Find out more at weendeavor.com. This was a first half that was controlled by the Mooresville Pioneers from the outset. As you take a look at some of the first half highlights, here's what happened. Mooresville got the ball to begin the game. They went on a 10-play, 63-yard scoring drive, 3 minutes, 13 seconds off the clock. Logan Jackson catches a 22-yard touchdown pass from Nick Patterson. Extra point makes it 7-0. But then back comes Danville, 11-play, 78-yard scoring drive, 4:28 off the clock. Cale Payne runs it in from a yard away. Then Mooresville gets a touchdown on special teams. 90-yard kickoff return by Gideon Brimage, kicked by The extra point made it 14-7. Then Danville had to punt it away, and Mooresville took advantage. 2 plays and 80 yards, 47 seconds. Patterson throws an 80-yard bomb to Logan Jackson. The extra point made it 21-7. Then after a Danville punt, 11-play, 85-yard scoring drive, 3:03 off the clock for Mooresville. Nick Patterson scores from 3 yards away. Danville, though, did respond when it was 28-7. They went on an 82-yard scoring drive in 11 plays, 5:23 off the clock. Payne to Brian Wiest for a 39-yard touchdown pass. Extra point made it 28-14, but then Mooresville comes back and burns Danville on special teams again. Gideon Brimage with a 79-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. The extra point made it 35-14. Danville then comes right back and responds as well. 78 yards, 8 plays, 2:47 off the clock. Payne to Wiest again. 27-yard TD made it 35-21. But then what was maybe the most impressive drive for Mooresville in that half, Jan, the last one, right before the half, 64 yards in 6 plays. All they needed was 38 seconds. And Patterson to Logan Jackson for the 3rd time tonight. So touchdown throws of 22 yards twice and an 80-yard strike. And look at here, there's the Patterson. Well, that was one that he actually overthrew for once, one of the few mistakes he made in the game. But then he comes right back, and on that late drive, that was one of the very big plays he made to get the ball out of bounds. Execution by the Pioneer offense.
It really was, and I think you make a good point here, because I think the defining moment, at least in the first half for Mooresville, was the last drive. It really showed the discipline and all the things you need to have in order to score a touchdown in less than 50 seconds, and that was just a Rembrandt. They absolutely painted that picture to perfection. They moved the chains, got the first down, stopped the clock, and then just a absolute perfect throw to end it with the touchdown. So that last drive really kind of just highlighted their whole first half. It was really a good half. And I thought Danville did a lot of good things. Their offense at times showed it could and did move the football. Special teams, Mooresville really was kind of the difference in that first half when they were able to return those 2 kickoffs for touchdown. That was clearly the difference maker. But, boy, both teams going to come out. They got to kind of forget about this first half. Anything can and probably will happen in this second half. But first half, a lot of points, pretty entertaining for me.
Yes, it was. 63 combined points, 14 of which were scored on special teams. So, Jan, if you are Danville in this situation, what adjustments do you have to make?
Well, I think what you're going to talk about if you're Danville is the positive. Listen, guys, when we put our drives together, we were pretty successful. But one of the things we got to clearly clean up is kickoffs return. Those were backbreakers. They'd really be in this thing if it weren't those two. And they still have a shot here. Now, and they've made some adjustments. And I said all during that first half, their best defense is their offense. When they can ball control, take it in for scores, Mooresville's offense can't do anything. They're sitting over on the sidelines. So I think you'll see them continue to do that. Now, that being said, they got to make up some ground, so they can't just hold on the ball forever. I think Mooresville, they're talking about cleaning up, defending that run a little bit, because I think Danville exposed a little bit of the run game against Mooresville.
Yeah, Mooresville, they've already shown it. They always find a way to respond. They've scored every time they've touched the ball so far. So if you are Mooresville, how do you avoid falling into that pattern of complacency, knowing you got to keep your foot on the gas here, because Danville's not going to just lay down?
Well, that one's easy. Mike Gillen will take care of that. That's an easy answer. I don't really usually have easy answers, but that guy's just won a few games, and that's why this team is what they are, because he knows to call the right buttons at the right time. A good coach does that. At times when they need to be getting on to, or, hey, work on the positives, or kind of forget the first half, good coaches know what buttons to push at halftime. And both these coaches, hey, Danville went to the state. That was no accident. They were well coached, good athletes. Mooresville went to the semi-state, got a great team, no accident. Well coached, great players.
Logan Jackson standing at 6'4".
Yeah.
He's already caught 3 touchdown passes. If you're Danville, what do you do to try to defend a guy like that? Do you double him? How do you stop him?
You can't double very much against Mooresville, because he'll just pick you apart. Because if you're doubling somebody's going to be open, and he gets rid of the ball too quick. If you could double somebody and get pressure on him, then maybe you double a little more. But because you can't get to him, it's hard to double, because somebody's going to be wide open, and he can throw it a country mile. So you got to be a little bit careful there. I thought at times Danville got a little pressure on him late there in the second period. Let's see if they can find a few more things there. So all you can do for the most part if you're Danville is you gotta let people keep it, or try to keep them in front of you as much as possible, because if Mooresville gets behind you as receivers, that's tough.
Yeah, looking at that last drive for Mooresville, it's just so many key plays here. Patterson to clamp it, they got out of bounds, and they made the sideline their friend, and really made sure that they didn't have to use that timeout. Again, there's Jackson with another reception. He's the one who pays it off with a touchdown, and just two guys near him right there, Jan, and he still finds a way to catch it and get out of bounds.
This is good coaching from a lot of different perspectives. Danville knows, or I should say Mooresville knows, that Danville has to play deep. They have to protect deep. So underneath is probably going to be a little more open, and it's hard to cover everything defensively. You just can't. And so Mooresville took advantage, A, of their athletes, and B, of the situation, and that's how they were able to get that score under 50 seconds.
It is our Endeavor Communications halftime show, and at the half, Mooresville 42, Danville 21. We'll have the second half from Danville when we return in just a moment. You're watching the ISC Sports Network.
The gratitude that we have for everyone here at Hendricks Regional Health, it's bigger than a thank you.
We have been recognized by Healthgrades for 14 years in a row for patient experience. There's only 7 other organizations in the country who have that track record.
You treat everyone like they're your neighbor, friend, family.
That's the most important thing to Hendricks.
14 different hospital staff members came in to meet our baby. That's how much these people cared.
Find care now at thisishendricks.org.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Defining Looks is a full-service wig and hair salon. We offer shampoo, cut, color, and styling for wigs and hair. Whether your situation is medical or cosmetic, our goal is to help you every step of the way in this emotional process. Let Defining Looks help you create your signature look. Schedule a consultation at defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, located on Sagamore Parkway North, next to Home Depot.
(42-21), Mooresville leads Danville at the half, along with Jan Bozer. I'm John Herrick. A great night of high school football across the great state of Indiana. Of course, a busy night for us on the ISC Sports Network. We always have 3 games that we bring you every single Friday night. And one of them, though, a little bit of a situation here, Jan. This is interesting. Apparently at Lawrence Central, because of lightning and thunderstorms in the area, the stadium had to be evacuated. So the game is undergoing a weather delay there. So if you're watching and you happen to purchase the pay-per-view stream on the ISC Sports Network, don't worry. That will resume once the game restarts. And for those of you that might be watching on MyIndy TV or ISC, the same thing. They'll return to the broadcast once the weather exits the area and the delay is lifted. So, no matter what part of the state you're in, Jan, you're gonna have 2 things this time of year: either heat and humidity, or thunderstorms to contend with.
Well, I was telling you last night at my house, I seriously thought I was going to be Dorothy the Second, because the storm that hit. I live in Noblesville, and the storm that hit us dumped literally 2.5 inches of rain in less than 30 minutes, and it was gale force winds. I was just hanging on. I didn't know if the house was going to stay put or not, but boy, just like that, when you got 94 degrees and high humidity, those thunderclouds can kick up at a moment's notice, so everybody just stay safe.
And also we had the we also had the cramping issue with Brian Wiest there in the first half.
Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't had more of that. Fortunately, we've not had a lot of it. Now, a couple of players have come out, but, you know, to your point on that, John, that tells you how well-conditioned these guys are.
Yeah.
Because teams that aren't in great condition right now, you'll see cramping up like crazy.
Also, keep in mind, we are proud to bring you lots of games on the ISC Sports Network next week. We'll be.
Where are we at next week, John?
Next week, you and we will be. I believe that is Lawrence North against Lawrence Central.
I like it.
So
rivalries.
That's a big Mick game right there.
I like it.
And then after that, I know September 17th, you and I will be back together again. And then September 24th, Winchester at Tri. So North Putnam against South Putnam is on the 17th.
So I've had that game before. That's a fun game as well.
That's just a classic rivalry.
Yeah, it really is.
Kind of like
I
Lawrence
love
North,
rivalries.
Lawrence Central. Yep.
Oh yeah. A lot of fun. A lot of good games coming up.
It is the 3-minute warm-up period at the half. About to end. Last year when these two teams played 2 years ago, Mooresville won this matchup 27-20.
Right.
And these two teams have only played each other. This is the 7th time that they have played each other in the last 35 years. Now, Mooresville has won 4 of those 6 meetings. And right now they are just owning the series so far, especially in recent history. But what a job Jamie Comer, though, has done at Danville. Coaching matchup in this game, Jan, very different. You have sort of the younger coach in Jamie Comer, who's there for this 2nd season. And for Mooresville, Coach Mike Gillen has been there for 5 years, but he's been coaching for 43.
Well, let's not forget Comer was on the offensive coordinator for Western Boone when they won a couple state championships. Right. So he's certainly well experienced. Perfect choice for here. I don't know, if these two schools are contractually committed, past this year or not. I think this is a great game, the non-conference game. Win or lose, when you play this game, it's going to be a tough game. And it's going to challenge you in a lot of ways that you're going to need down near the end of the season. So I hope this game continues on both their schedules because it's a really, really good, interesting game every year.
Well, that is what Coach Jamie Comer told me earlier in the week. He said, as a program, we want to challenge ourselves in non-conference games, of course, to prepare themselves for the conference and eventually the postseason. And he even said this week, Mooresville poses a ton of challenges, but here's the thing. He said it's going to force our players to play their best football. And if they're not quite there, it's going to force them to elevate their game, and I think that's exactly what we have seen so far in this one.
I've always believed the team only gets better by how they're challenged. Mm-hmm. It's all about wins or losses as a coach. You don't stay employed if you can't win. But that being said, the big prize is at Lucas. In order to get there, you've got to get better each week. And sometimes you have to do that even in defeat, and you're going to be playing a good team. So I love teams that really challenge their schedule a little bit. You don't have to have the greatest team every week, but for the most part, your preseason, you can't do anything about your conference. That is what it is. But preseason is to really challenge your team to get ready against good competition. A, for your conference, and then B, down to tournament time when it all really counts.
Fantastic atmosphere. Both student sections have been rowdy. Mooresville group made the trip over and have turned out very well. Of course, Danville with a big home crowd too, but it's been a lot louder on the visitor side, as you can probably imagine by the score.
It's a very comfortable 79 degrees now, John.
Yep. And it was
a mere 11 degrees cooler than when we started. It's a gorgeous night now.
We had a really nice sunset with the sun dipping behind the clouds. That orange beam off the sky was really neat. Yeah. Of course, our camera crew got great shots of it on the extra point attempts that we had in that first half.
Well, I'll tell you, Danville's going to get the ball here, and, of course, that's why they deferred. And I think this will be as big a possession as they may have all game. What did they learn in the first half? They did some really good things. What can they do coming out of halftime here? to get something going, to get themselves right back in this game. Let's see what they do.
Kenny Curry to kick it away. Weist is back deep for Danville, and so is Brayton McMahon. Right leg into the ball, and the second half has begun.
Whoa.
So one thing I'm noticing after Kenny Curry sort of had some issues with those, look like those deep on side kicks, Jan, he's opted to say, forget that. I'm going toward the end zone now.
I'm thinking B, if I'm him and the coaching staff, if he's got that type of leg at times, I'm going, you might want to produce that as much as you can, because if you can pin a team back, that certainly is a good thing.
Those of you just joining us, that's Mooresville in the white, Danville in maroon. It has been Mooresville leading about 90% of the time. Danville tied the game up early at 7, but then Mooresville scored 21 in a row, and they have led ever since. They've led by as many as 21. First play from scrimmage in the second half is a pass play for a gain of 8 yards by Payne out to McMahon. 2nd down and 2.
Well, and I think what Danville's comfort zone is here is much higher. See, a throw on first down. Now they really got very manageable 2nd and 3rd down. I really feel like sooner or later we would start to see a little more passing on first down. I really like that.
Andrew Papa was the main tailback in that first half for Danville. Also helping out in the backfield, too, was Darren Sharp. He had a few carries. 2nd and 2. Here's the handoff to Papa. Papa with nowhere to go for Mooresville.
He's still going to be close where they spotted the ball, I think. It might be just a little short. Nope, they called first down.
Yep, McClure and Toole there on the stop as they put the ball at the 30-yard line. So he needed 2, and he got exactly 2.
Well, but that was all started by that really good production on first down. I really like that.
Tyler Doston, Brayton McMahon. Out to the right. Here's swing pass, and that's only a gain of 1. Catch was made by McMahon, but then he was knocked down hard by Mooresville's Hogan Denny and Ashton Holtzclaw. So
well,
2nd and 9.
It may have only been a gain of 1, but I think what Danville wants to do here is try to stretch the field a little bit to open it up even more for their running game. So while maybe it was only a yard of production, I really think what they're trying to do here is get a little more in stretching this field. Try to go east and west a little more.
Papa the carry, trying to get to the outside, 35, and pushed out at the 36-yard line, picking up 5, and that makes it 3rd down and about 4.
So that's exactly what they do. They spread, go to that quick out pass, open the edge up a little more, and he got some decent yardage. So now, once again, they're in pretty good shape here with about 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4.
Bradley Hess pushed him out for Mooresville. Just inside 10 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Payne, quick pass, dropped.
Oh, my.
Had the first down, but he could not hang on. Doston, Tyler Doston, run the out pattern. Good coverage by Nielsen, but could not hang on, and it's 4th and 4. And Doston is the punter, so he is staying out there to punt this one away.
Yeah, and he knows. That pass was a little bit low in fairness, but, wow, that close, you somehow, some way, even if you got to go down, you got to get that one. He knows it, too.
Rimmage is back deep. Doston gets it away. Bounces at the 40 and doesn't probably take the hop that Danville wants, and they just get somebody down there to down it real quick, and the man who does that is Christopher DiBenedetto, a 6'3", 170-pound junior. So, 1st and 10 for Mooresville from the 39-yard line.
And it's been, unfortunately for Danville, a lot of small things at times that has, kind of stalled their drives. That was a pass that should have been caught. Very well could have been a first down to keep that drive. And they've had a couple of those tonight. And against a team like Mooresville, you've got to find a way to make those plays. Now you've let this offense get back on the field to see where Mooresville's at offensively here.
That was 25-yard punt, no return. Nick Patterson at quarterback has been sensational. Calls his own number, runs out to the 49. Should be enough for a first down. If it's not, it's going to be second and short. And they say he got 9, so it's second down and about inches.
It just doesn't seem to me, no matter what he does, whether it's look in the pocket, whether he's running, whether he's passing, he just does it easy. It's like there's just a glide to him. That was 9 yards. It just looked like he didn't even make much effort, and you know he did.
We're inside 9 minutes to play in the third. Patterson opts to sneak for the first down. He's got it for the moment, but a penalty flag flies. We'll see what this is about.
This one's coming back.
What'd you see? Maybe
I believe some movement up front. I as an ex-lineman, you kind of know what that flag is. Let's see if it's if that's what it is. But the line judge called it illegal shift.
Illegal shift, okay.
So it wasn't the lineman. Good job, lineman. That tell you, did I ever tell you a trick of the trade?
What's that?
As a lineman?
What's that?
Because they don't call your numbers like in college and pro, the best thing to do when that flag does is kick it so it does not by you. So when the film goes, the coach doesn't know or to run away from it. The worst thing you can do as a lineman is to stand by a flag because A, it's filmed, and B, everybody else knows who did it. So that's a little trick of the trade, John.
Oh, and of course they're going to be having film session tomorrow. So they.
I'm just telling you, there's nothing that you hate worse in a film session than to have that flag next to your feet.
And another flag comes down here. So the carry by Brimage getting close to the marker, but we have to see what this is about. And again, it was thrown in the area of the Mooresville line.
Yeah, it was a pretty clean first half. We didn't have a lot of penalties, and now all of a sudden we're starting to see flag. There's the illegal shift again. The backfield's not getting set is what's happening. You got two people moving at the same time.
Danville crowd loving this, getting loud, and now you have second down and 11 as you back up.
I don't recommend kicking the flag because that'll cause another flag. But I'm just saying if you accidentally touch it, that's a different animal.
You just sort of maybe glide it with your foot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mooresville, a team that loves to go quick, but I think after those two penalties, they're saying, let's figure this out.
Well, and that's a good team doesn't make those same mistakes over and over. And
Patterson calls his own number, gets some of the yardage back, picking up 5. That makes it third down and 6 as he goes into the waiting arms of Eden Lowry.
And while those flags at times seem like small things to a team that's this far ahead, a coach that's a perfectionist like Gillen is, he ain't happy with that.
Nope.
If you're going to go to the big show down at Lucas, you have to have all 12 cylinders kicking all the time, and penalties can cost you a game.
Third down and 6. Patterson rolling, looking, fires, caught. First down at the 45. That's Clampett breaking loose. He's at the 30, spinning, still going. 25,
maybe.
Stays on his feet. Clampett to the outside.
You're kidding me.
Clampett is scoring for
my.
Mooresville. Johnny Clampett, the senior wide receiver, juking everybody out for the touchdown.
And I call that a desire to find the end zone. Those are receivers. You know, there's a kind of a stat that nobody keeps track of is yards after the catch. Now, first of all, what he does here is he does what a receiver should do, is comes back for the football. He sees his quarterback's in a little bit of trouble, so he stays around, comes back for the football to make sure he has somewhere to throw it. And then after he gets the football, he just has that unique desire to find the end zone, and indeed he does.
56 yards on that touchdown pass. Houck for the extra point. He drills it. It is 49-21. Mooresville. Back in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at ISCSportsNetwork.com.
It doesn't hurt that I bag for Volt.
Sports medicine at Hendricks is all about providing level of care that's unmatched.
We've made our team deeper with surgical specialties.
We have the best physical therapy staff in the state.
We work very closely with the orthopedic specialists, and it really makes the treatment plan more seamless.
In an environment that's small enough to meet your needs, but also large enough to have the tools to take great care of you.
This is Hendricks.
Find care at hendricks.org/ortho.
Well, the Mooresville Pioneers have touched every single time. They've scored every single time they've touched the ball, and they just did again. 3 plays, 61 yards, 2:12 off the clock. Johnny Clampett with an unreal catch and run for 56 yards from Nick Patterson to make it 49-21 Mooresville, their biggest lead of the night.
And while we talk about the quarterback an awful lot, and rightfully so, these receivers are really good, and they have that unique knack about knowing how to get to the end zone and making plays to get to the end zone. So, wow, when you have that combination of that many good receivers and a quarterback, that's a great combination to have.
Houks kickoff this time shy of the end zone. And a good return by McMahon from the 11 to the 31 for 20 yards as he is tackled on the return by Ashton Holtzclaw. But Danville starts from their own 31, down 49-21, 7:22 still to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, and I know what Danville's not going to do and look at the scoreboard. They just continue. They've got to continue to come out here and execute and work on some things here, and they've just got to get better. They knew Mooresville was going to be a challenge and a big, good game. This is one game, only game 2. Just continue to fight to get to that end zone.
Pitch to Papa. Papa evading one guy, goes down at the 33, picking up 2, 2nd down and 8. Good pursuit by Gavin Toole and by Holtzclaw.
And the key here is these seniors, they've not really been in this situation much until the last game of the state last year where they seen defeat. So they're not used to this. So they're going to be challenged here mentally a little bit. This is not anything that they're used to or want to. So they're going to rise to the top here, and they're going to get better, and they're going to show these young kids, you know, what Danville football is like in the long term, not the short term.
Danville won every one of their games last
sure
year by double digits, except for the last one where they lost by double digits, and that one goes to the 39 by
in style they won.
Yeah. Gain of 6 on that run, tackled at the end by Luke Bullock, and it is 3rd down and about 4.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier. Mooresville's a 4A ball club, and Danville's a 3A, so they're not going to meet Mooresville down the road in the playoffs anyway. So this is a great challenge, really, for both ball clubs.
We are about midway through the third quarter. Danville in bad need of a score. They punted on their opening drive of the third quarter. Payne in trouble. Scampers out of bounds. He's near the sticks, waiting for what the ruling is from the officials. They say he's just beyond it at the 43. He needed 4 yards, and he got it. 1st and 10 for Danville.
Yeah, it was a good decision on his part. And the thing that really stuck out to me last year when I seen him so many times was how smart he is in his decision process and knowing what to do and when to do it. And that play there really showed how quickly he does make great decisions on the field.
Payne to Papa. Papa nowhere to go. Buried at the 44-yard line for a gain of a yard, and there is Luke Bullock again.
How many times you called his name?
A ton.
A bunch.
A senior defensive lineman, showing why he's one of the senior leaders.
Yes, sir. He is the real deal. He had a phenomenal game last week against Lebanon. He was everywhere defensively.
2nd down and 9 for Danville. They tied the game, and then after they tied it, it's been all Mooresville.
And he gets as much out of his body as anybody I've seen.
Payne with immediate pressure, floating up a screen to Papa to the midfield stripe.
Okay.
There's Bullock again.
I'm going to tell you, I hope we get to see this. Watch him read this play. This is the sign of a really good defense. See, all of a sudden he reads screen. And so to keep going, he comes back and makes the tackle. That is amazing read by a defender because he was 5 yards into chasing the quarterback, immediately read the screen, comes back and still makes the tackle.
That is a gain of 7. It's 3rd down and about 3 for Danville. Desperately need a 3rd down conversion. Payne taking off, has the 1st down as he gets by a defender to the 45-yard line and moves it for Danville in a 1st.
And once again, that quick decision process, take a look. Nothing there. Even though I don't think he was super challenged there, but all of a sudden he felt like the pocket was collapsing on him. And if the pocket collapses, that means most of the challengers are by you. He cups up over that right guard, makes a big play.
Max Fischel in on the tackle for Mooresville. This is the 7th play of the drive for Danville, a drive for them that started back on their own 31. They've had the ball for over 3 minutes. We're coming up on 4 minutes to play in the 3rd. Payne slings it. Catch made just inside the 40. That is Tyler Dustin making the nice play.
Well, Nilsson, the defender, slipped a little bit that time when he made his cut. You're going to see maybe this picture where the defender slips right there. A nice pitch and catch by Danville. They're moving the chains, and that's exactly what you want to do.
They needed 10. They got exactly 10 on that throw and catch, and the clock stops. Danville needs every bit of it. I think if you're them, you got to try to think to yourself, let's get this to a 2-score game.
Absolutely.
Before the end of the 3rd quarter to give yourselves a fighting chance going into the 4th. Papa with the handoff at the 30. And down he goes at the 27-yard line. What a burst of speed Andrew Papa has.
He's got to be, if he's not, awful close to over 100 yards rushing. He has to be, John. He's had one well of a ball game, still tons of time left. He has been really impressive running the football tonight.
I've got him for 115 right now.
How about that? See? 115, baby. You can just feel it.
I'm Johnny on the spot. You're Janny on the spot. Gain of 8, 2nd down and 2. Papa again with a burst through 20. Down he goes to the 19-yard line. Gain of 8 and a Danville 1st. But Jackson Nielsen there to upend him at the end of the play.
Well, I tell you, and you have to feel good about what you're doing there if you're Danville. You're moving the chains almost at will right now. Is Mooresville getting a little tired defensively? Maybe so. They've been on the field a long time. Or have you picked up your momentum a little bit?
3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Payne going to the end zone.
That's pretty good coverage.
Yeah, Dostin looked like he was blanketed both in front and behind. 2nd and 10.
Double coverage in the zone that time by Mooresville. Really not much room there. So he wanted to throw it where maybe his guy could go up and get it, but he certainly didn't want to put it where it could be intercepted.
Head coach Jamie Comer for Danville. Hoping his guys can punch it in the end zone. A 12-1 record so far as the Danville coach. And as Jan mentioned earlier, had an outstanding run as an offensive coordinator at Western Boone. Pitch to the outside. Papa again trying to get there and could not turn the corner as he was cut down by Brady Johnson for a gain of 1, and it is 3rd down and 9.
Did you see Brady Johnson come out of nowhere? He literally come from the opposite side of the field all the way to the other side of the field to make that tackle. A lot of good seniors. Wow.
We knew both offenses were explosive, Jan, and the key was which defenses were going to make plays, and so far the answer has been Mooresville. They've made more of them. And Danville trying to get it in here, but now we're coming up on 2 minutes to play in the 3rd with time running out. Payne is in trouble. Hit as he throws as it wobbles incomplete. Good pursuit again. This time it is Lucas Bullock. How many times are we going to say his name, Jim?
Yeah, well, until somebody stops it, you're going to say it over and over. Here's Bullock again. What he does so well, the reason he can get pressure, he's got a great swim move. If you watch him coming across the crease, He's got a little swim move, which makes it really hard if you're blocking him to stay with him. And that's how he gets pressure on the quarterback a little bit. He's got a couple moves I've seen him make, but that swim move is very good. What I'm talking about is getting released from the blocker, getting away from him. So you try different techniques to try to get away from the blocker.
Payne gets it out in the flat. That's caught by Braxton Fullwider. Fullwider's been pretty quiet tonight, but he's able to get out of bounds. At the 14. Yeah, he needed 9, and he got 5, so that makes it 4th down and short, and I think they're going to go for it anyway.
Nope, that was 4th.
So that is a turnover on downs for Danville.
There you go.
So Mooresville gets the ball back, and that's back-breaking, Jan, because that is a 12-play drive.
And it was so well execution was good. They had momentum, they had rhythm, just wasn't able to cash in down there in the red zone. So it's a good red zone defensive stop for Mooresville.
And that's a drive that went 6 minutes, and they were not able to score. So now Mooresville, they love to throw the ball. Now they're thinking, let's try to run the ball as much as possible, and this is where it is Gideon Brimage. We might see him really start to take over. He's already got 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown tonight, and he moves forward to the 18 for a gain of 3, tackled at the end of that play by Jalen Poole.
Well, you kind of wonder if Mooresville, obviously they want to eat some clock here, and they're not a team that runs the ball a lot, but there might be a time when they have to, so you kind of got to think they may think about a little more run game here.
And there is Patterson keeping it to the 21-yard line, gain of 3.
Just under a minute, John.
Yep, and that thing is it keeps the clock moving. 3rd and 4. They do have to run at least one more play before the quarter ends, and we're at 50 seconds remaining in it.
What a gorgeous night. Mooresville side completely packed, Danville side packed. Man, I missed this so bad last year.
It was.
I had to come here a couple times to the empty fans, and no fans in the stands, and it was, you know how much Danville loves their football here. You just know they didn't like that at all.
And they're not going to like this either. They give up a 3rd down conversion to Jackson. Logan Jackson, who continues to have an outstanding night for Mooresville.
Yes, he is the big-time receiver.
Ethan Walls tackles him, but not before he gets a 1st down.
And I've said it before, I'll say it again, he is such a mismatch because of his size, his length, and he's got deceiving speed. We've seen him in the open really turn on some speed, too, for that size.
That is a gain of 10. Mooresville will just let the clock wind down. That takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Mooresville led by 21 at the half. They lead by 28 now as they try to close it out in the 4th. Back in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Defining Looks is a full-service wig and hair salon. We offer shampoo, cut, color, and styling for wigs and hair. Whether your situation is medical or cosmetic, our goal is to help you every step of the way in this emotional process. Let Defining Looks help you create your signature look. Schedule a consultation at defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, located on Sagamore Parkway North, next to Home Depot.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor Communications offers a variety of internet speeds that fits your family or business needs. Surf the internet faster than ever before with internet speeds up to a gig. Contact them at weendeavor.com for more information.
Well, regardless of what side of the ball you're on here, John, coaching staff always wants to challenge their ball club to finish strong. Doesn't matter if you're winning or losing here. A key to coaching is really finish strong. Let's see how both these teams do here in the fourth.
Mooresville has it from their own 25. Pitch to Gideon Williams. Gideon Brimage. Brimage running out to the right side, and that's a big gain, but the flag came down near the Mooresville offensive line. Looks like we are probably going to be bringing this one back. Brimage has had an outstanding night.
We probably don't talk enough about him. I mean, he is a solid athlete.
90-yard return for a touchdown on a kickoff, 79, but this 79 one as well. This one's coming back.
He's a little bit shorter guy, but I've always told people those at times are the harder to bring down because their center of gravity is so low and they can shift and move. So a lot of times those types of players, and he reminds me that type, are really, really difficult, to catch, and if you can't catch them, to bring them down.
Holding penalty backs it up to the 18-yard line. 1st and 20. Nick Patterson has put on an absolute clinic. 3 touchdown passes for him, also a touchdown run. And also this year he has not thrown an interception. And there's Brimage on the screen reception, 20, 25, still going, just shy of the 30. So he gets the penalty yardage back before he is taken down by Trey Morrell. Gain of 10, 2nd and 10.
Well, and I think you're seeing what Mooresville's doing here. And while this is a lateral or a pass, if you will, this is their running game. This is a part of their running game. And they know there's going to come a time where their running game is going to have to be more productive than maybe other times. They're so good at the passing game, but for you to be that ball club that can get that next step, and for them the next step is get to Lucas, you've got to have every piece of your puzzle in place, and the running game they're really trying to work on here.
Jan talking about Lucas Oil Stadium, where the football state finals are played every year. Patterson trying to run left, making something out of nothing. Looked like a busted play. Got across to the 30 to the 31 for a gain of 3, brought down from behind by Devin Keith. And it's 3rd down and about 7.
Well, they've run Patterson a few times tonight. Not a lot. He is certainly capable of running more than he's being used tonight if they need him.
Mooresville with the ball and the 28-point lead. Opening stages of the 4th quarter. About 10 minutes to play in the game. Danville tied the game once early at 7, but it's been all Mooresville ever since. They led by 21 at the half. Patterson hands this one off. And this time, how about first carry of the night for Brandon Wilson, a junior running back, taking it left and a 1st down out to the 42-yard line. That is a gain of 11.
A little shot there. 2 players making some pretty good contact. Junior says, I can handle it.
Trey Thompson pushes him out of bounds. 7th play of the drive coming up here for Mooresville. They've had the ball for nearly 4 minutes. Danville had a good drive going. Late in the 3rd quarter, they had the ball for over 6 minutes, but then turned it over on downs deep in Mooresville territory at the 15, and then Mooresville took over from there, and they go back to work with Wilson again. Wilson, another nice gain across midfield. They spot him out at the 43-yard line of Danville. That is a 15-yard pickup for a 1st down.
Yeah, this young man, the junior, has kind of found something on the edge here on this left side. A couple really good runs for him.
Nick Patterson saying, hey, I've had to do a lot of work in the passing game, but now we got a 28-point lead, and we've got several backs that are running the ball well. Let's keep that going.
Well, and we talked about in the beginning of the telecast, depth. You've got to have the depth. And while you do certain things during a gap, you try to improve upon your depth. You just never know. You always hear coaches talk about, John, Well, we got to stay healthy. Well, sometimes you just don't know.
And Wilson on the delay handoff with a stiff arm. In the red zone he goes, spilled down by the 10-yard line for what is a gain of 30 yards. What a run by Brandon Wilson, and what a drive he's putting together, Jay.
And it is. And I'll tell you what's so exciting is when a young man gets an opportunity to show what he can do, he takes advantage of it. You know, a lot of times you don't, on a veteran ball club, you don't get as much playing time perhaps, but when you get your shot, you know, it's your time to shine, and, boy, he's taking advantage of it. I like it.
And if we get to 35, if Mooresville scores another touchdown, the clock is going to run. So Danville's really got to keep Mooresville out of the end zone here. And Wilson gets it again. This time he's buried, so Danville reading it perfectly. And the two guys who got there for the Warriors, Trey Morrell, also Darren Sharp, 2nd and 10 after the no-gain rush.
I'd explain that rule for fans who may not know what that means. I believe if the spread gets beyond 35, it's a running clock, I think, except for after touchdowns, the clock will stop. But short of that, the clock will continue to run. It's a new rule. Happened 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, touchdowns and injuries are the only reason the clock can stop once it starts, and it can't reverse.
Play clock is down to 4. It's down to 2, and now Mooresville has no choice but to call their first timeout of the second half. And we'll take it with them back in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town, so you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Don't forget, you can stay connected to ISC all season long by downloading the ISC Sports Network app from your favorite app stores. Watch all the games live or from the archives. The ISC Sports Network. Local lives here. 2nd and 10 for Mooresville. They are at the Danville 13-yard line. Well in control of this one. 7:37 left in the fourth quarter. And right before Nick Patterson can take the snap, I think we might have a false start on Mooresville. Yep, they're backing up. And I think the man who looks like the guilty party there was Brantley Butcher, because he threw his hands up, backs it up to the 18-yard line, and it is now 2nd and 15. And, you know, of course, Coach Mike Gillen from Mooresville, you know, he'll find some of that stuff to clean up in practice this week.
Oh, yeah.
Patterson to the end zone he goes. And that is caught for the touchdown. What a leaping grab made by Wesley Reeves, the junior wide receiver. What height these Mooresville receivers have, Jan.
Yeah, they got great length. We've talked about it all game long about their ability to, get separation. And this ball is just so well thrown. Just so well thrown. That ball is only where his guy can really catch it. You know, once again, Danville well defended that play. But sometimes when an exceptional play is made, there's just not much you can do.
18 yards on that pass. Extra point coming up here for Brian Houck.
Wow, what a pretty play. We've seen multiple pretty throws and catches.
And before the play can be made, or before the snap can be taken, a whistle.
You know, all those types of plays that we're seeing like there, that's all created in the summer. Over and over and over. It's confidence, it's timing. You just don't show up on Friday night and throw precision passes, timing, get the confidence in your receivers. Both these teams put in a lot of work over the summer to get perfection in the passing game, and you're seeing the results of that now.
Offsides on Danville, so move the ball inside the 2. A little bit closer, PAT. And this one blocked.
Sure was.
Looked like the man who busted through and blocked that was Caden Collins for Danville. So that actually keeps it from being a running clock because you have to get to 35, and that keeps it at 34. Right. But again, if you're those Danville players, Jan, that's what you're playing for. You don't want to get 35.
No. Well, you don't. And the other thing, we talked about that as well, is you're coached to play until the game is over. I don't care what the score is. We talked about earlier that this is a marathon, not a sprint. While this game has been certainly a challenge, there's a whole lot more in front. There's a conference, there's playoffs, and this is about getting better for young guys who haven't near the experience that some of the older guys do on both sides. But obviously Mooresville in today's ball game has really kind of clicked on all cylinders offensively and special teams.
Well, Danville, when they lost that game to Chittard in the state finals, that's one thing Coach Jamie Comer said. We were not going to give up or quit just because Chittard played better than us. They were the better team, but doesn't matter what the score was. We were going to fight all the way to the end, and you see that out of their play here in this one tonight.
Well, Chittard was a lot like Roncalli and Cathedral. They just had those types of teams that were just a step above everybody.
About that drive for Mooresville. 10 plays, 85 yards, 6 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock.
I'm taking a wild guess that may be it for Patterson tonight.
I think it might be. Here is the kickoff from Curry. It's a short one, but not much room to work with. Good tackle on special teams made by Jackson Nielsen as Greenfield comes up with a return and did not have much room to work with.
I'm getting a lot of updates around the state. There are a lot of games. They're in lightning delays now, so we're pretty fortunate we've been able to get this thing going tonight.
7:25 left in the fourth quarter. Danville gets to begin this drive from their own 33, trailing 55-21. Cale Payne, the starting senior quarterback for Danville, still in the game. And Andrew Papa's been the bell cow back, gets it again. Only got to the 34. Officials saying he got a yard, and that's it. 2nd down and 9.
Well, and if you're Danville here, you're going to keep a lot of your starters in because this is great, if you will, big time, not practice, wrong word, but it's great time for them to get better against really good defense. So you're going to use this time to help your offense get better. So a lot of people go, why aren't they taking their, some of their first teamers out? And they may still do that, but this is still a lot of good time to get better.
And there's also still a lot of time left in the game.
Oh, yeah.
6:40 to play. Payne. Completion. Full wider, fighting forward to the 42-yard line. Two guys there for Mooresville.
And I think Danville's going to walk out of this game tonight understanding that their passing game may be better than they thought it was. They certainly have the quarterback, but some of these young receivers I think have played pretty well, and I think they're going to continue to get a little bit better, a little more confidence using the passing game to hopefully be a little more balanced. When you think about Danville, you always think about balance. I mean, last year, they were so balanced, so difficult to defend.
That's a gain of 6, and it's 3rd down and 3. And right before a whistle and a false start on Danville. So 3rd and 3 just became 3rd and 8.
Well, next week, some interesting games. Both these ball clubs. Mooresville will be home for the first time. They'll play Plainfield. Plainfield had a really good last year. Don't know quite where they are this year. And I think you may have talked about Dansville. They'll play Lebanon, who's right now trailing Zionsville 30-2.
So Lebanon's only scored 2?
Yeah.
That's not a football score.
Yeah, Lebanon's a pretty young ball club. They're really young this year. And, of course, they played so few games last year. They kind of got caught in that where they weren't able to play a lot of games. And so they're still trying to recover from that and have a lot of young players.
And before the snap can be taken, a whistle. Delay of game on Danville.
Danville will be back here next week.
So a false start, then a delay of game, and 5:23 to play in the contest. Payne coming over saying, what are we doing here?
I'm taking a wild guess saying Plainfield coming to Mooresville, the place is going to be packed. I'm just taking a wild guess.
Yep, I think you're probably right.
I did some games at Mooresville, and they like here at Danville. Those people love their football at Mooresville.
3rd and 13. Payne almost drops it. Goes deep. Man, they're in double coverage. Incomplete. Wow. Nearly a catch for Fullwider.
What an effort, and that's great sportsmanship right there. And that's saying a lot of things. He's going, man, you had me on a step, and you just about made a world-class catch with one hand there on top of it. What an effort. And that's what you're looking for from a coaching staff. You know, down the stretch here in the 4th period, are you giving everything you got? And, boy, he laid it out there and just about was able to get that thing hauled in.
Tyler Doston on to punt it away on 4th down. Of course, the special teams killer, Gideon Brimage, is back deep to receive. And the other man there is Hogan Denny. And they away from Brimage this time as the ball rolls out of bounds on the punt to the 40-yard line. So that is a punt of 30 yards, no return. Mooresville will get it with 5:08 to play. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Defining Looks Wig, Hair, and Nail Salon, where they can assist you with a wig for your hair loss needs due to COVID-19, any medical conditions such as cancer or age-related thinning hair. They're also certified in toppers, wigs for kids, and children with hair loss. Find them at defininglooks.com or on Facebook and Instagram.
I've been watching those commercials. I come from a hair salon family. My mother was in the business for 35 years. My sister was a hair beautician, so I know a little bit about that. Those were awesome. I sit there and watch them all night long. Those are great quality things. Wigs, I should say. So I know a little bit about that. Been in the beauty business most of my life. I was the guy that had to sweep up all the hair. It's what I got to do.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Growing up, that's all I did.
Well, it's how you keep a clean barbershop, though. Somebody's got to do that.
Yep. Big-time beauty business.
Not quite sure what happened here. I think, did we get a timeout from?
Want to thank them for sure, being on board. Makes the broadcast possible.
Looks like it was a Danville timeout. So 55-21 is your score. Mooresville.
You know, I think, John, one of the things Danville's going to walk away from tonight's ball game and go, yeah, we played a good team. Yep, we knew that was going to be tough. But I think they're going to walk away and go, listen, we did some really good things offensively. And defensively, they played pretty solid as well. But one of the things they want to get a little better at is finishing drives. Multiple times they had great drives, and give some credit to Mooresville, obviously, defensively for stopping them. But going forward, we've got to complete those drives, you know, to be the type of ball club we want to be.
And how about a start for the schedule for Danville? You start off the season playing Franklin, who's in Class 5A, 2 classes above you. Danville's number 1 in 3A. Then you have to play the number 2 team in 4A in Mooresville. New quarterback in the game for the Pioneers. Snap is low to him. And hand off to one of the backup running backs. That is Chris Corthens. And the new quarterback for Mooresville is Levi Dorn, who is a sophomore. So you were correct in your observation earlier, Jan. Nick Patterson done for the night.
Yep, and rightfully so. He came in. He was prepared well, executed. His team really gathers around him. His receivers are really on the same page as him. You know, it's one thing, John, to have a great throwing arm, but when your players, your line and your receiving core are not on the same page, it doesn't flow. You can just see when they get out there, They got great momentum, great flow, great rhythm to their offense, and they trust him, and everybody's on the same page, and they're well coached.
Dorn's pass there, incomplete. Third down. Or that was third down, excuse me. Now it's fourth down. So, see what Mooresville opts to do here. Well, they're going to see what Dorn can come up with on fourth down. He's backing up a little further. Yeah, I was going to say, now I think he might pooch it. Yep. I didn't think that until he backed up, and then he ends up punting that one out of bounds as it trickles out at the 35-yard line. So that's a punt of 25 yards, no return. 3:55 to play in the fourth quarter. Danville has the ball back and a chance to try to get something positive going before the end of the game. Stay tuned because our Hendricks Regional Health postgame show comes up.
Yeah, great looking. The coach for Mooresville there in your picture. And boy, what a privilege for both of these ball clubs to be able to have coaches like they have. Those are just two very, very quality coaches.
Yep, Jamie Comer for Danville, Mike Gillen for Mooresville. Handoff up the middle. Back up, running back in the game, making a nice play out to the 45-yard line. Good run there by Sean Robinson, 5'10", 170-pound sophomore, to the 46 of Mooresville. That is a gain of 19 yards.
Yep, sophomore says, let me have the ball. I'll show you what I can do. And it's always exciting, especially, when you're young, you get a chance to come into the varsity game and, get to show what you can do. Friends and family in the stands, and they get excited when you do something like that.
Looks like, I wonder if we still have Payne in the game. Yes, Payne is still in at quarterback. There he is again. Sean Robinson to the 39-yard line, picking up 7 yards. Corbin Baker on the Mooresville stop.
3:05 left in this one, John. It's been a lot of fun.
That has been.
It's been a good game. It's both teams, I think, will walk away with here learning a lot about their ball club. Good crowd, great atmosphere, beautiful night for football. Great people here at Danville. I think in all my years of broadcasting, and I think this year 27, I've never had anybody provide a fan.
They did.
Yeah, I know. Danville did.
They did provide it.
I appreciate it. With 92 degrees when I walked in here.
And Robinson with another nice carry, this time to the...
In fact, we had 2 fans for a while. They said that was overkill, so I'll get one.
Yep. That's a gain of 9 and a first.
Want to thank our ISC crew.
Oh, they've
great,
been fantastic.
Great
tonight.
Camera work. People down in the truck doing their job. Everybody, great job tonight. So special that people can watch these games at home that can't get here and see these teams play.
Sean Robinson gets the carry again. Yeah, big thanks to our whole crew. Our director, Jake Morris. On the replay, Becca Kelly. Graphics by Elijah Mash tonight. And our camera operators, Eric Connect, Eldon Wheeler, and Elizabeth Guggenheim. Big thanks to all of what they have been able to do for us tonight.
Excellent job.
Second down and 7. Robinson still remains in. Payne at quarterback. We're at 90 seconds to play. Robinson, the carry once more. Taking defenders with him to the 22-yard line. That is a gain of 6.
He just looks like a young man that goes, I want the ball. Give me the ball. I want the ball. I like that.
Third and short.
Well, I tell you, you talk about challenges in high school football. Being a defensive coordinator is a tough, tough job. These offenses have gotten so sophisticated, so athletic now. People are so strong, so fast, so quick. I can remember the 52 was the defensive choice. Well, if you ran 52, you'd lose 100 to nothing now because the passing game is so sophisticated. So you have to have quick linemen, very quick linebackers, and secondary that can just flat out get to the ball.
Yeah.
Defensive challenge is unbelievable in today's football. Unbelievable.
And just to recap, when you say 52, you're five
front,
right,
nose,
linemen.
2 tackles, and 2 defensive ends that used to be clear up on the ball. Well, you would get killed if you played that defense now, because you get the quarterbacks like you have here. They just throw the ball all night long. And a lot of defenses, while they call them different numbers, still have some characteristics of the 52. You're seeing a 4 front here. And a lot of it depends on your personnel.
Yep.
You know, what makes more sense for you to run.
I think that ball hit the man in motion. I think it hit Doston on the snap, and Mooresville ends up recovering that. So that is Caden Samuels, the sophomore, who's able to fall right on it. But that's just kind of indicative of how the night has gone for Danville. And Mooresville takes over with 17 seconds to play, so all they need to do is take a knee, and they get out of here with the win to go to 2-0. Danville drops to 1-1, and this was a game where Mooresville really just made a statement in the first half. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. And how about Nick Patterson, the starting quarterback? We talked about him in the pregame. He was going to be the key for Mooresville if they were going to win. Well, all he did was have 4 touchdown passes, a touchdown run. And the backup comes in. Levi Dorn gets to take a knee, and that does it for this one. The Mooresville Pioneers come into Danville on the road and make a big statement, knocking off the #1 team in 3A, Danville. 55, Danville 21. Our Hendricks Regional Health postgame show comes your way next on the ISC Sports Network.
Defining Looks is a full-service wig and hair salon. We offer shampoo, cut, color, and styling for wigs and hair. Whether your situation is medical or cosmetic, our goal is to help you every step of the way in this emotional process. Let Defining Looks help you create your signature look. Schedule a consultation at defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, located on Sagamore Parkway North, next to Home Depot.
The gratitude that we have for everyone here at Hendricks Regional Health, it's bigger than a thank you.
We have been recognized by Health Grades for 14 years in a row for patient experience. There's only 7 other organizations in the country who have that track record.
You treat everyone like they're your neighbor, friend, family.
That's the most important thing to Hendricks.
14 different hospital staff members came in to meet our baby. That's how much these people cared.
Find care now at thisishendricks.org.
Well, the Mooresville Pioneers take control of this game early in the first half, and they go on to cruise to 2-0, beating Danville 55-21. It is our postgame show brought to you by Hendricks Regional Health. Whether it's a preventive health checkup, a needed procedure, a screening, or lab work, you can always count on Hendricks Regional Health for safe, exceptional care. Find the care you need at thisishendricks.org. Jan, in the first half, they set the tone. Nick Patterson, the quarterback for Mooresville, was simply sensational, made so many key plays. Danville did all they could to try to stop him. They got some good plays from their running game and their offense, but in the end, Mooresville just too much tonight.
Yeah, just a quality team. At the end of the day, they were the better team. And that's why I talked about earlier why I think a lot of teams love to defer. The best defense, I think, is your offense keeping their offense off the field, because they are so unbelievably productive on offense. They're so hard to keep out of the end zone. So the longer you can be on offense, put drives together, keeps their offense off. So I think you'll see other teams perhaps maybe rethink that a little bit, maybe not. That's what I would do. But at the end of the day, they're so well coached. Their passing game is as good as advertised. The line just does its job. They come, they produce, they do what they're supposed to. Defense, really well. I think Danville learned a lot tonight. I didn't think they played terrible by any sense of imagination. I think they've seen some things they have to get fixed. They know they got beat by a really good ball club, but I think the future down the stretch can be really, really bright for Danville. Don't forget, they're a 3A, Mooresville's a 4A, so they won't ever see each other in the playoffs. So going down the stretch 3A, I'll tell you, look out. Danville could be somebody to be reckoned with when it's all said and done.
Yes, they very well could. And if you're Mooresville, What did you learn about yourself tonight?
Well, I think they beat a good ball club in Danville. I think one of the things they'll want to continue to look at, and I think they showed us this in the fourth period, is at times they're going to have the running game be a little more productive. If there's any, and I won't call it weak link, but they don't want to run any more than they just have to. They had some runners who certainly showed they can do it, but there's going to be some ball clubs that perhaps maybe can have some secondary that make it a little more difficult to throw the ball as much as they like to do, so that running game may come into play. So I think they walk away going, listen, we accomplished what we wanted to, but listen, we still need to improve on the running game.
All right, he is Jan Bozier. I'm John Herrick. Much more to come from our post-game show when we come back in just a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Sports medicine at Hendricks is all about providing level of care that's unmatched.
We've made our team deeper with surgical specialties.
We have the best physical therapy staff in the state.
We work very closely with the orthopedic specialists, and it really makes the treatment plan more seamless.
In an environment that's small enough to meet your needs, but also large enough to have the tools to take great care of you.
This is Hendricks.
Find care at hendricks.org/ortho.
Defining Looks is a full-service wig and hair salon. We offer shampoo, cut, color, and styling for wigs and hair. Whether your situation is medical or cosmetic, our goal is to help you every step of the way in this emotional process. Let Defining Looks help you create your signature look. Schedule a consultation at defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, located on Sagamore Parkway North, next to Home Depot.
Well, let's relive some of those great plays from the game tonight. Logan Jackson, an outstanding receiver for Mooresville. Yeah, he knocked down the referee, but the referee was fine. He got back up. Andrew Papa had a very solid game as well for Danville, but what were some of the big plays in the game that stood out to you, Jan?
Well, one of the mechanisms that Mooresville uses so well is they score quickly. And they want to put you on the defense so fast you don't know what to hit you. And they got off to just an explosive start and made the opponent play catch-up all night long. I think that's a huge key.
And Nick Patterson there, one of his picture-perfect throws that he made, one of several touchdowns to Logan Jackson that he had that was very early in the contest. Mooresville 55, Danville 21. Mooresville goes to 2-0. Danville is 1-1. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Endeavor Communications. Become unstoppable with frustration-free internet, phone, and managed IT solutions. Hendricks Regional Health. Joint pain? Well, schedule a sports medicine appointment at hendricks.ortho, hendricks.org/ortho, and by Defining Looks Wig, Hair, and Nail Salon. Be your own kind of beautiful at defininglooks.com. For my partner, Jan Bozier, and the rest of our fantastic crew, I'm John Herrick saying so long. You've been watching high school football on the ISC Sports Network.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
The gratitude that we have for everyone here at Hendricks Regional Health, it's bigger than a thank you.
We have been recognized by Health Grades for 14 years in a row for patient experience. There's only 7 other organizations in the country who have that track record.
You treat everyone like they're your neighbor, friend, family.
That's the most important thing to Hendricks.
14 different hospital staff members came in to meet our baby. That's how much these people cared.
Find care now at thisishendricks.org.
Defining Looks is a full-service wig and hair salon. We offer shampoo, cut, color, and styling for wigs and hair. Whether your situation is medical or cosmetic, our goal is to help you every step of the way in this emotional process. Let Defining Looks help you create your signature look. Schedule a consultation at defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, located on Sagamore Parkway North, next to Home Depot.